We are here and it is time to continue Katawa Shoujo. What happened last time? I know what happened.
We met the girl to bed.
Also our crazy, floor mate.
Right, well, I remember what happened as a whole last time. I'm trying to remember, what happened, in the scene right before this one.
Oh god, I have no idea.
That was,
These people were trying to get ready for a festival, right?
yeah.
All I remember is escorting Rin to the painting she was doing and helping her.
I think that was actually it. I think we did that, and then it was just, we painted into the night, and then it instantly cut to this, and... Right, yeah, okay. Alright.
Which one is Rin?
No arms.
The one I know least about. Okay.
Rin is the... Rin is the whooper. The sound of an alarm pulls me out of a fitful slumber and into the unpleasant state of wakefulness. That is pretty much what it's like waking up. The sleep sucks, but being awake sucks more. I linger under the blanket for a few minutes, gathering energy to rise up while making excuses as for why I already haven't. Honestly, I wouldn't mind staying here for all day. School is surprisingly exhausting after a long pause, and the culture shock still's not faded, I think. Still, despite getting an impression that skipping class is easy here, I don't think they're gonna let me get away that easily. And the nurse is bound to keep breathing down my neck with talk of exercising as well. So eventually I do rise up, swallow the morning medications, and put on my old soccer clothing. Thanks to my condition, I was exempted from taking part in gym classes at Yamaku, but didn't get issued with a gym outfit. Is Yamaku this school, or is he talking about his old school?
That's this school.
Okay. I'd order some to cover such a contingency, but wearing my old soccer clothes is kinda nostalgic. I can't use them for that anymore, so maybe they can get a new life this way. A bit like me. After all, if I'm gonna start taking care of myself, I can't afford to slack around. I'll start from the basics. Basics which include keeping the rest of my body in shape, along with what little I can do to strengthen my heart. Maybe then I could go back to something approaching a normal life, or at least something where I'm less likely to fall over dead at any minute.
Try not to get headbutted in the chest a few times.
Nice photograph of a soccer field. It is... Huh?
I was just gonna say, we're at the track, so I wonder who we're meeting today.
I will say, when they do the actual art, it looks really good, but when they just do an actual photograph, it's very jarringly obvious.
About zombie.
It's usually good. I'm surprised to discover that I'm not the only one present at the track. Not just that, but it's a face I've seen before. The person who almost killed me! The prosthetic-legged girl who bowled me over in the hallway yesterday is running on the track lithely, like a half-mechanical gazelle. What was her name again? It was a short one, but I can't remember. Dave. She seems to be running laps at a somewhat easy lope, her prosthetic legs clacking rhythmically on the hard track surface. I wonder what reason she has for running this early in the morning. Maybe it's something akin to mine, and the nurse is oppressing the poor girl to jog just like he is oppressing me. Certainly wouldn't be here if it weren't for my health and is prompting me to do so. And even with things being like they are, it's... What is that noise, by the way? I keep thinking it's like a snare that's going to lead into music, but...
Shot in the dark, Mr. Pro Tag. She might just like running.
I mean, I'm just wondering what the sound is right now. It's like somebody's...
That's supposed to be the sound of her running.
Definitely not!
It is. That is supposed to be her running.
She's running on, well, for one thing, I assume she's running on, the track, so it's, dirt. And her legs are like metal or plastic. It should be kind of clunking. It shouldn't sound like trimming hedges.
It sounds to me like a clock ticking going too fast.
Track fields aren't made of dirt. They're like asphalt.
Either way, it should, even more so, it should be clunking. But, eh. And even with things being like they are, it's only because I wanted to get it out of the way early. The fact that I'd be
You
less
can tell
like...
Max doesn't know anything about prosthetics because he doesn't know what they sound like.
Yeah, if you can believe it, I have all my limbs, and most people that I've met in my life have all of their limbs as well. Even the people that are, like, in a wheelchair. Well, for one thing, they're not using prosthetics, they're in a wheelchair, but they still have their limbs, they just don't work. I don't think I've ever actually face-to-face met or encountered anybody who had a prosthetic. I had a friend on Skype that had, like, that had only one arm. That's it. That's the closest I've gotten to that. Or was it one leg? I don't remember. So long ago. The fact I would be less likely to encounter someone who would witness my pitiful attempts to get in shape was merely a happy accident. I leave, but it seems that my former assailant noticed me on her last lap. She waves at me cheerfully and jogs over. Well, the noise stops, so I guess it is how running sounds. I disagree. Alright, I'm Emmy, right? She's like the only one of the girls I voice. Good morning. Your name is Isao, right? She grins, seemingly pleased that she'd remembered my name. You may not remember me. Hi, I'm Troy McClure. You may not remember me from such films as When I Headbutted You and You Nearly Died. Emmy, I knocked you over in the hall yesterday. How can I forget such a blunt introduction? Emmy has the decency to look vaguely apologetic for a moment before giggling. Yeah, sorry about that. Again. Well, so long as you don't make a habit of it, I suppose I'll be fine. Great! I'm not sure she realized I was joking. So the spy consultant the nurse was talking about, is that actually you? That's right! Oh. I don't think spies are supposed to really be that forward. I was expecting someone from the nursing staff, to be honest. What, are you saying I don't look like I could be a spy? No, this is more like I mean... Depends on the anime. No, this is more like a relief. I was afraid he would have someone to watch my every move. Unless you're here to do exactly that. No, I'm here for my own reasons. The nurse just asked me if I had seen a messy-haired transfer student who looks like he's kinda lost around the track. So why are you down here? Emmy strikes a dramatic pose. Oh god, Rhino, she's Cynthia. Training! Or what?
Yeah, you're not that wrong.
Track! I see. You're on the track team then. Emmy nods enthusiastically. Yep!
I was half expecting her to say, I am the track team.
I'm one of the better runners, too. Okay. I need to know. If you... Okay, clearly it's like her legs are amputated below the knee. So, like, she has her thighs. Would the fact that the lower parts of her legs are amputated give her an unfair advantage in running? Because that's half of her legs to not get tired?
Well, first off...
I think there'd still be lots of motion.
Well, yeah,
because think of it this way, she won't have near as much dexterity in the bottom of her feet, so she won't be able to, like, push off with toes and stuff like that. It has to all be just in the angle she's doing.
I know, but I'm thinking, like, she's moving her thighs, and then from the bottom down is just kind of, it's just kind of going. So she doesn't, like, she can't control it, but she also doesn't need to control it or feel it, so it's like, I don't...
Remember, she's moving her knees, too.
Is it above or below the knees that she's amputated? We can't exactly tell from this perspective.
Well, is it amputated or was she born that way?
We don't know.
That's a good point.
We choose not to ask.
Yeah.
I think of it as just a different style of running.
Okay. It's just one of those things that, like, because I also imagine.
I looked at her full body shot shows she does have knees still.
Okay, that does actually answer a fair bit of the question. So I have the same question about, like, someone who has prosthetic arms doing boxing or something.
Look, until they start attaching rockets, they're fine.
Hey, it's anime.
There's a
They're
reason
probably
to-
not far off.
There's a reason disabled people have their own Olympics and they're not in the full Olympics.
Yeah, it's just so people don't have to ask these questions.
I'm not asking them to be rude. I'm asking them because I'm curious.
I know.
Yep, I'm one of the better
Yeah.
runners too. What?
Rockets or it didn't happen.
Although if you look at that one Australian breakdancer, I guess one can get into the Olympics.
Is breakdancing an Olympic sport?
It was this year, and some lady who was absolutely awful and had no breakdance training managed to cheat her way into being on the official Australian team and made an ass of herself.
How?
Oh, you'll have to watch the video. It's bad.
Is it just as simple?
was a-
Is it just she bribed someone, or?
I'm not sure of the full story, but you can tell she does not know how to breakdance.
God, I did a bit of breakdancing in high school, and I'm worried to watch this.
Oh, it's real bad. It's bad enough to make you think that someone either bribed the judges or this is just a joke on the audience. It's bad. And I imagine breakdancing will not return next time.
And modest about it too. Hey, you should join up. It's good exercise, you know. I think that much activity is probably out of the question for me. Nah, I'm not even sure that I really like running all that much. Plus, I'm just not into organized sports, you know? It's true, I never even really got that much into soccer. I was about to say, is she about to call bullshit because I'm wearing a soccer uniform? I mean, I run around with my friends and all, but that was really the only reason I ever played. Wasn't for the glory to be found on the field, that's for sure. Emmy seems to understand my meaning. I see. Not that into the whole organization thing. But now that you're here, I guess we're gonna run together, huh? What? Sure, I guess. Emmy seems pleased. Are you gonna warm up? Real men don't warm up. Oh, I'm so fucked. Oh no, you always should warm up. Bad he sound. She scolds me enthusiastically, but then smiles and leans closer and bops me on the head with a newspaper. I hate warming up too. She laughs suddenly. Heck, and I don't even have to stretch my legs! As to confirm her statement, she bounces up and down a couple of times, giving a passing impression of standing on a pair of springs. Her leg blades seem to be quite elastic. Oh right, she's got leg blades! Okay.
Yeah.
And I was still imagining full-on prosthetic legs. I'd forgotten about the leg
No,
blades.
she's got the running version.
Okay, I was imagining full-on prosthetic legs, which are like hard plastic and metal and like fake noise. That's why.
No, remember they bounce to give the simulation of running on your actual feet.
Okay, well
I love that they're called leg blades, by the way.
Yeah!
So cool.
Leg blades. Stilettos.
Haha.
Let's go. But yeah, no, I didn't remember because we ran into her, haha, for like 5 seconds and then she left. So I only remembered her name, and even then I think the only reason I remembered anything about her was because the game made it pretty clear she was going to be a romance option. We both take off around the track, and I can immediately see that she
The
wasn't
clock starts up again.
and I can immediately see that she wasn't lying about being good at running. Emmy moves
Laughs you like 3 times.
on your left. On your left. On your left. Emmy moves fluidly, throwing herself into the run with a sort of wild abandon. I find myself concentrating more on running properly. Hands spread, right? And something
I don't
about
think
something about hitting on the balls of your feet rather than the heels.
I mean, that'll help with shock absorption.
I try to match my stride to Emmy's, but it's pretty difficult. Apparently, I'm not very good at it. Maybe Emmy could help me with that sometime. I'm really not feeling up to more than a couple of laps today, and slow to a walk pretty quickly. Emmy keeps running. I don't know why they sometimes have a text box that's just empty. It makes me think it's taking a while to load. Emmy
Is it not?
No! It didn't. It just stays there doing nothing, and then I click, and it brings up the next line. I think the idea is like they do that for you to just sit there and listen to the sound or something. Emmy keeps running and doesn't seem to notice I've stopped until she passes me a second time. She quickly skids to a halt, breathing steadily in contrast to my own somewhat gasping demeanor. Finish already? I hang my head ruefully. Yeah, I'm not in very good shape right now. Emmy nods and then grins at me again. She seems to do a lot of smiling. Well, the important thing is you started, right? Next time, you just have to try to hold out longer, and then longer, and longer, and eventually you'll be great! Are we still talking about running? I'll keep that in mind. But I think right now I'm gonna go get ready for class. Shouldn't you? Emmy shrugs unconcernedly. I've got plenty of time. I notice that she's not wearing a watch. Are you sure? Another careless shrug. Not really, but I've got to finish my routine. See you later, Hisao. Yeah, see ya. The clock was taking even more she went off. You got that, Rhino?
What's up?
You got that in chat?
What? Oh, sorry, I wasn't tabbed onto it. I was drinking something.
That's fine.
Boom.
Ha Rhino was my
What
bot.
was it?
A bot. Rhino was my bot assassin. Whenever one shows up, I'm like, Rhino, go.
Moderator's twist is nuts.
I love some streamers that I've watched have started saying like they don't just say like mods ban this guy anymore. They go for something like ridiculous, like mods send this guy's pet dog to the moon.
What did the dog do?
I don't know. It's just to make the guy sad, I guess.
I saw it like a week ago, but people pointed out that streamers say mods the same way King would say guards.
Mods, dispose of this
execute him.
peasant. Mods, bring in the court jester. Oh wait, I'm the streamer. I'm the court jester. I'm not sure whether this morning's experiment was a success or a failure, but I'll admit that I do feel slightly good about getting out there this morning. And like Emmy said, I just need to keep at it in order to get better, right? Practice makes perfect or something like that. It's nice at least to feel like I've taken some semblance of control over my own health. I'll have to try to keep this up. Man, we have gotten, like, no time with Emmy. We spent, like the entire opening act with Shizune. And then with Emmy, it's like, she ran into you. All right, bye. You ran with her. All right, bye. It's like, she's had, like, maybe, like, 20 lines of dialogue, and Shizune had a fucking arc. What is going on?
I mean, it seems like in order to get time with Emmy, you're going to need to do things she's doing because she keeps busy.
Yeah, but none of the other characters have been like that. Every other character, like, there was one point where I explicitly, like, I don't remember if I chose or if Hisao just, like, did it to go hang out with Lily and Hanako. But we've spent decent times chatting with all these characters, aside from, Hanako, who doesn't really talk much, but we still spent time with her. And then Emmy, it's like, I'm Emmy, I run! Okay, bye.
Gotta work for the girls you want to go out with.
I guess. I'm still leaning towards her and Hanako, but, I mean, we'll see what happens as we learn more about the characters. I head back to the dorms to wash and change into my uniform, trying to resist the urge to take a really long and hot shower. I'm tired from all the running, so I just want to unwind, but I don't want to break my slowly building routine of getting to school before the morning rush. After taking a long shower anyway, fair enough, I dry myself off and get out of the stall to put on my clothes. Out of nowhere, a shadow appears within the mist, looming and radiating malicious intent. It bursts through the fog! Jesus Christ!
I thought this was later. I forgot this happened so early.
I hate it. The worst part is I don't know if that's affected by whether or not the sensor is on. Sup? What are you doing here?
The longer you take to read it, the longer we have to look at it.
Yeah, fair. What the hell? You scared me. What's your problem? I do appreciate that they erased his nipples.
I should be asking you that. I've been looking for you all over the place, man.
What do you mean all over the place? Want to ask you?
Clearly, the lack of nipples is one of his physical disabilities.
I have no legs. I have no arms. I have no nipples. Want to ask if he's been looking for me like that, stark naked, but hold my tongue back. The answer is probably yes. I finally realize I'm still naked too and quickly hold up my shirt in front of me, but Kenji doesn't seem to notice a thing. I wonder why. His glasses are fogged up, but then why doesn't he wipe them off? Is his vision so bad it's like he's perpetually seeing through fog? His vision's so bad he doesn't even notice they're fogged up, I'm guessing.
You know, your room and... Yeah, that's it. Hey, I mean, I still have to get up, though. Whatever, it's not important. Can I borrow some money?
He puts on an innocent... Does he? Does he? He puts on an innocent face and looks away, trying very hard to look very casual. It doesn't work. He's as transparent as his window pane-sized glasses. Talking naturally like this, wearing nothing, feels awkward. Actually, somehow it's even more awkward to be naked in front of someone when they can't see me being naked. To say nothing of the fact that he's naked as all. Can we stop talking about this? I try to brush the feeling off with little success. Money? Sure.
Awesome.
Wait, why do you need it?
Drugs. Can't you just give it to me because I had the goodwill not to run through your pockets while you were in the shower? I could have, but I exercise restraint. And in the end, isn't it the thought that counts? Come on, be a pal.
This makes no sense. If it's a thought that counts, I should withhold payment, since his thoughts were so clearly impure and his intentions are probably even more sinister, since he can't tell me what they are. I say as much to him.
I'm offended, man, but if that is your game, then fine. I guess I have no choice. I want to order a pizza, and I already have most of the cost of the pizza. I need your help with the rest.
I get some of that pizza too, right?
No.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I would give you some, but you have class. You don't have time to eat a pizza.
But put it in the fridge! What about you?
I'm not going to class. I have to wait for the pizza and pay the guy, and then eat it. It's not easy. You have to obtain the pizza stealthily. If you don't, everyone will see you and the pizza, and they will ask for a slice. It's a hard world out there. Everyone wants a piece. Then you're left pizzaless in an unforgiving world. It's happened before. That's how I know.
I continue to like this guy.
He's crazy, but he's entertaining.
Yeah, like, I should clarify. I would hate to live with this guy. But it's funny to watch other people deal with him.
Every day, I plan my vengeance, so that when the people who wrong me order a pizza, I will be there, ever vigilant.
Kenji strikes a dramatic pose, completely without irony.
But yeah, I only need like 400 yen. Please, you're my only hope. I can't go outside and buy my own pizza, it's too far.
400. Jesus
It's
Christ!
like $4.
$2.75 as of right now.
I try not to go out unless it's absolutely necessary. Let me tell you what happened the last time I went out without carefully planning it out in advance. I was outside. I can't remember what I was doing. Something. Standing? Maybe wondering how I got there. And then, out of nowhere, it happened! Like a flash of lightning, splitting the sky, like how you split a sandwich into 2 equal pieces to make it more manageable to hold and eat. A bird crapped on my head. It was the second most shocking moment of my life.
What was... Hisao, you should know better! What was the first? He ignores me and keeps going. Okay, I want to grab him and shake him. Did he just try to keep momentum? I'll go with that, even if it's more likely he just didn't hear me.
It was like in the opening to some kind of anime show. You know, how there's always a part where the main dude is fighting his rival, and they fly at each other and clash swords, and there's like a big dramatic colored auras and zoom. It was like that, but with poo.
Are you guys regretting not voicing this guy?
No, you're doing great.
Okay.
See, I need some money. Please? Don't leave me hanging, man. I only need like 1,000 yen.
Wait, what? Whoa.
I thought it was 400.
Okay.
What?
I'll pay you back, I swear.
It's like talking to an AI! You better. That's what it means to borrow stuff.
I don't know when I'll be able to pay you back.
You have 1 week.
Yeah!
Kenji Winston makes a noise like a dying cow. A particularly disturbing fact given that his baton is conducting freely. I don't think I've ever been in a situation where there has been a naked person who was not supposed to be naked. But if that ever comes, I'm going to use your baton is conducting freely.
You're not supposed to be so tight-ass about money between brothers in arms, man. Men have it bad enough as it is. Did you know that male porn stars only make about half of what female porn stars make?
That doesn't mean anything unless you're a porn star.
So maybe I am a porn star on the side, struggling to make ends meet as I fight the feminist agenda. And you can't even spot me or crumbs, you bastard! Nobody understands! Nobody!
Wouldn't feminists be against pornography in the first place?
Eh.
This feminist agenda stuff again.
This stuff is important! I can see that you don't give a shit, but this is...
All right, well, at least he knows.
This is serious here! Feminists are a dangerous enemy. Make no mistake. You take them lightly, you'll wake up in the morning with a knife in your back. Bam! Out of nowhere.
How do you wake up in the morning if someone stabbed you in your sleep?
Women are terrible at stabbing things.
I thought you just said don't take them lightly.
Well, I mean, don't take them lightly for the big things. Individually, they're not a threat. But if there was some kind of war, like a big war, with men on one side and the feminist forces on the other side, it would be pretty ugly. And that day will come when the feminists come out of their central top secret worldwide feminist headquarters and say, "It's on now, motherfuckers!"
What do you even say to most of this?
Apparently, you're being ridiculous. There's no big worldwide feminist headquarters building. Where would they even hide that? I mean, you have to be massive. You couldn't hide that on Earth. Someone would notice a big fortress with women only in it.
Who said it was on Earth?
Oh.
I turn away from Kenshi and start practicing frowning faces in a mirror so that I can figure out what kind of frown will best express my emotions. You can't see me from this distance anyway. Which unfortunately means that he just keeps on ranting without any regard to sense or sensibility.
Yeah, there is a war going on, a war not many know about, but it's a great one that will one day boil over and encompass all of the known world. Then we will have to pick sides. We will have to make a stand. In fact, it's happening right now. Imagine it,
No.
the bloody battlefield, a vicious conflict without end. I almost gave up when I thought this cause was silly, when I grew tired of the bleakness of our fight, when I mistook the time the power went out for a feminist raid and thought the end was near. But then I realized that if I gave up, it would all be over. And I was like, whoa, and knew I had to get serious. Because I am the last sane man in an insane world. It's about duty.
Okay, so is this character here for a palate cleanser so you crave the normal girls?
If so, he's doing both a really good job and a really bad job because I want to keep talking to him. Like, I absolutely do not agree with a single thing he's saying, but it's hilarious.
You don't think there's a secret worldwide feminist headquarters on the moon?
Hey! He hasn't said it's on the moon. I'm pretty sure.
Come on.
Look, you know what they say? Men are from Mars, women are from Venus. It's gonna be on Venus. Did you ever hear that old saying? It was like, girls go to college to get more knowledge, boys go to Jupiter to get more stupider.
Yeah.
I never thought
I've heard that in reverse as well.
I have never thought of this, but I randomly. Hey, I'll throw this out there for any viewers who end up with a case where somebody says that to you. Tell them, no, girls go to Venus because they just want penis. And then, congratulations, you've thrown the sexism back at them. Don't actually say that, they will slap you. Must be a pretty crappy movement if all hinges on one naked guy ranting in a bathroom at another naked guy. Can I have the money? Oh, right, that's what this was about. He's blocking the way out. It's getting cold because I'm still naked, and I want to go to class, so I agree to spot him the money.
Awesome. Thanks, dude. We should go bowling later on.
Bowling?
Damn it, Roman.
Yeah, it's the ultimate sport. There are almost no women bowlers either, making it also the manliest sport. Can I wear my pink bowling shirt with matching shoes or the pastel green with flower accents?
There are bowling clothes? Maybe. Anyway, you had better pay me back.
I can pay you back in stuff, right?
I don't have the time to ask you to elaborate on what that means. I don't know. I have to get to class. You're kind of in the way.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I don't want to hold you up, and I have some stuff to do myself. The time has come.
The time for what?
Pizza.
I just like saying that.
Oh, fair enough.
Okay, now the time really has come.
For what?
I have to use the bathroom. Get out of it.
Just going to. What does that mean? It's a big bathroom.
So, I have to be alone or I can't go. The pressure.
Okay, same though. I don't want to go in when someone else is in the same room, and I don't want to be in the same room as someone who's going. So,
What about public bathrooms?
those have stalls. Oh wait, no, this is a pub. I thought this was just. I keep imagining this as being like a bathroom attached to like a dorm room that's just the two of us or something. Okay.
It's actually crazy that like way back in the day there used to be communal showers in high schools that people had to use.
My high school had that, and the only reason I didn't have to be there in that is because I didn't go to gym class.
My high school had showers, but you weren't forced to use them.
I mean, I guess, as far as I can tell, that you weren't forced to use them at our school either, but, I mean, you still did, because you just had fucking gym class. Okay, what if someone else comes in?
I'll think of something.
I give him my practice round, and it looks kind of silly reflected in his glasses. He either doesn't notice or doesn't see, anyway, so I get dressed and run back to my room, feeling as though an eternity has passed since I woke up. That is time I will never get back. I'll get him for this somehow. Alright. I will join the feminist movement. Right now, I have to get to class. More time with Shizune, my least favorite of the options. I'm the first person in class today, although I think I'm a little too early. Then again, sitting here for 20 minutes sure beats having to suffer that time with Kenji. Combination of fatigue, frustration, and boredom starts making me feel very tired. I black out for a second, waking up when my head hits the surface of my desk. Rubbing my forehead, I realize this is as good a reason as any to stay up for now and stop coming to class so early later. Eventually, I hear a tapping noise outside in the hallway, and Lily's tall figure appears in the doorway. She's not in this class, so she must have some other business. Maybe she's looking for Hanako. Lily stops at the door, looking hesitant as if she were a vampire who can't come in unless invited. I consider doing so because she looks rather lonesome standing there. Okay, but imagine that for a moment. Alright, what's your disability? I have no arms. What's your disability? I'm blind. And what's your disability? I don't want to tell you.
I have specific dietary needs, and albinoism, and I'm afraid of running water, and a garlic allergy.
And and I'm overly polite.
And an aversion to the letter T.
And a compulsion to count.
Even though several words I just used contain the letter T.
That reminds me of
I don't like physical manifestations of the letter T.
That just reminds me of this one video I saw where it's like, All right, hello. Welcome to welcome. What's your name and what's wrong with you? I'm deathly afraid of insects. My name is Tom with a B. Where's the bee? There's a bee.
It reminds me of a Futurama joke. It's like, congratulations, you're dead. I'm dead? I thought I just had laryngitis and anti-gravity.
Wait.
He was a ghost.
Oh. I fucked that joke up because I couldn't remember it. She steps in on her own accord, though, after straightening her skirt and shirt collar, as if it was important to look as if it was of importance to look prim when entering our classroom. And there she
What
enters.
up, fuckers?
Lily is Tim, I believe.
Yeah. Excuse me.
She calls into the quiet classroom with a probing, delicate voice. I realize the silence might unnerve her because of her blindness, so I break it.
What up?
Good morning, Lily.
Hisao? Good morning. I didn't hear you come in.
I wonder if she thinks it's suspicious I didn't say anything to her before. It's likely. If I were to tell too big a lie now, it would sink me. Well, I was already here, just asleep until now.
Oh, have you seen Hanako today by any chance?
No, she seems to come in only just before the bells ring. Or after that. Do you want me to tell her something for you?
No, it's fine. It's strange, but I think we're the only two people in the school right now. I didn't hear anyone else on my way here.
Is it Saturday? Is it fucking Saturday?
At her festival day.
I shouldn't have gotten up so early today, I guess.
You're chastising yourself for doing something that other people should? Punctuality is a good thing. I think so anyway. It's a very busy morning today. The festival is coming up soon, and today is the deadline for event registration, budget reports, and any other official paperwork. It could be that everyone is trying to complete the necessary forms at last minute. Maybe that's why it's so quiet today.
About it being quiet.
Yeah. By the way, I love, by the way, that her pose is just slightly off of being the a gentleman with cane in front of self.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. Also, Rhino, do you want to swap Misha and Emmy, since Emmy is potentially a character we'll romance and Misha is definitely not? And if I'm voicing a character we're romancing, it's just gonna be 4 hours of me talking.
Turns out you technically can't romance Misha unless you're on the Shizune route, but
Yeah.
also this means it turns out Misha is a really bad friend.
Huh.
Yeah, what is it? It's like all I know from what you said is like on the Shizune route, there's a point where you could choose where like Misha asks you to sleep with her or something.
Basically. So Misha, knowing full well that you're trying to get with Shizune, gets you instead.
Huh. Weird. I mean, if you want to swap.
I just think it makes sense since Emmy is like a character we're potentially going for.
Alright.
Hi,
Wait, does that mean I'm both the people you're considering going for?
Yes, but to be fair, for what Tim said, this isn't the kind of thing where you just choose. It's who you end up going for is decided based on your choices. So for all we know, we could end up going for Lily or Rin just without trying.
Alright.
Because I imagine, like, it's just a matter of, like, the choices you make, and their choices are generally not immediately obvious, such as when the nurse was like, you will exercise, right? And your choices were yes or maybe, and that was for, Emmy. I imagine there's not going to be, or if there is going to be a case where it's incredibly obvious, it's going to be something like, Lily and Shizune are glaring at each other. Who do you punch in the face, or something? I don't know why Lily would be glaring, but... Hi!
Well, one of them would definitely be easier since they wouldn't see it coming.
Misha pops into the room with Shizune as if on cue, shouting with a loudness that makes Lily visibly flinch. Hi, Hichan! Hi.
Look, it's the class representative! Hello!
Lily smiles, probably amused by Misha's, or Shizune's, use of the word look.
Good morning.
Of course, you're not the representative of this class, right?
I'm not. Do you think she's come to dislike Misha as well because Misha and Shizune are tied at the hip?
Possibly, but, I mean... I get the feeling that... I guess we'll find out, but I get the feeling that Misha probably doesn't necessarily dislike Lily. It's just she sticks with Shizune because she's her translator. And so as a result, she doesn't hang out with people Shizune doesn't hang out with. Lily seems a little more guarded in her answers to Shizune than she was with me the other day. I guess they really don't get along at all. Then I realized that Lily might actually not know Shizune is present, and she's trying to detect whether or not she is to know who she is talking to. For all she knows, she's talking to Misha, but knowing that she and Shizune are practically inseparable, she might expect Shizune being the one that actually talks. I guess that... Damn, how complicated. I decided to help Lily out for my own peace of mind more than anything else. I guess that is a fair point. Like, if Lily's blind, she can't exactly see, like, Shizune doing sign language, so she doesn't necessarily know what is Misha and what is Misha translating Shizune. You're here early, Shizune. You were here even earlier than us! Misha puffs out her cheeks angrily. Why is she getting angry? Does she feel emotions on Shizune's behalf too? It's not that weird, though, that Shizune didn't like my little comment. It's true, I was here earlier than them, so me saying something like that could definitely be misinterpreted as anything. Especially to Shizune, who doesn't have the benefit of hearing tone to gauge intent. Before I could start weighing whether or not I should apologize, Shizune has already moved on. Class rep! I assume that Shizune is being sarcastic, so...
It's a good thing you're here. We have to talk.
As Rhino, as we discussed yesterday, or the day before yesterday, we have to talk. Only slightly scarier to hear before a sentence than in Dragonlance. Oh yeah, Tim, in Tabletop Sim, we have a Trivial Pursuit that is D&D focused.
It's everything from the original publishing up to stuff like Critical Role.
Yeah. I think there is one question that says, like, circa 2022 when referring to something, so at the very least, it's up to date to 2 years ago.
Well, I feel like we'd all get everything before 2017 wrong.
You'd be surprised. We had some decent guesses.
It was
like 50-50.
The questions were along the lines of, like, what is the name of the wizards of the wizard that betrayed this group of wizards in this one campaign? And the next question was, what's the name of the class that turns into animals?
I kept picking the magic questions because those at least seem to be consistent.
We should. I feel like that would be something that'd be fun to do with the three of us and anyone else who knows D&D. We did it with just me and Rhino, and then E popped in partway through. And then Rhino left, and then me, Jero, and E did a horror-based Trivial Pursuit. We would have done SpongeBob. But we discovered the questions of the SpongeBob one are, what is the signature dish of the Krusty Krab? Who lives in a pineapple under the sea?
Yeah, I feel like a SpongeBob theme one would be way too easy for all of us.
They also only had. I thought that it would be like. I mean, I thought they would at least, like, dig deep for things, but no, it was genuinely a kid's one. But the D&D one was, challenging.
The festival is coming up in 3 days, right? Every other class has already handed in their projected budget reports for their events. Even the first years. Except you. Wah-ha-ha-ha.
I think Misha might just be a bitch.
I still wish there was, like, quotes around when she's doing Shizune and not when she's not.
Yeah, I find it weird that they have quotation marks constantly. Because, like, I get it, that's to separate speaking from Hisao's, like, inner thoughts. But you can already tell that
because Hisao's inner thoughts because the name goes away.
Yeah, exactly. So I wish they just didn't have quotes.
There is still time to hand it in, isn't there?
But they
Oh,
even
that's a
do
new one.
quotations for her ellipses. Also, she looks pissed. Today! The deadline is today! You're certainly taking your time, aren't you? If I had it my way, I'd have had all the necessary paperwork days ago. But someone had to say the deadline. Please extend it.
Yes, that was me. Planning something on the scale is not a small task, and a week is too small a time frame to expect a whole class to work out such a complex issue completely.
Do you want to know what's harder than distributing the funds for one class's event? Handling the same matter for every class at the school and then some. The one who does that is me.
Misha puts her hands on her hips and stands up straight. Oh, she's really getting into the role. Lily doesn't look like she's very amused, though. Hey, Shizune, aren't you being a little too hard on her? There's still a whole day left.
Please, Hisao, it's alright.
Call you right now. Lily is about to drop some huge-ass roast on Shizune. Lily seems happy I'm taking her side, but a bit conflicted that I might not think she can take care of herself.
If this is about the budget, then I'm disappointed you think I've forgotten about it. I understand how important it is.
Then, can I have it, please?
Shizune, she might not have it on her at this exact second.
It's not here right now. I asked 2 students to take care of it for me. Students from my class.
She emphasizes the last sentence, much to my surprise. She knows about Shizune and Misha's efforts to rope me into the student count. What does that have to do? What?
I don't understand that either.
I asked 2 students to take care of it for me. Students from my class. She knows about Shizune and Misha's efforts to rope... Huh?
I don't know.
I don't get it.
Is anyone else from this class even important?
Hanako. I guess
Is
we're...
Lily in the same class? Because when it did the pan over, we didn't see Hanukkah, or we didn't see Lily.
Well,
I thought she was in a different
yeah,
class.
Lily's in a different class. She's specifically saying students from Lily's class as opposed to the class that I'm in. But somehow, students from my class translates to, I know you're trying to get Hisao into the student council, and I don't get it. I guess word must have gotten around, so now she... Wait, hang on. The most I can think of is that she's, like, calling out Shizune and trying to get other people to do her work for her or something. I don't know. I guess word must have gotten around, so now she's using me as ammo against Shizune. And this just gets better and better.
It was your responsibility. A budget report isn't something you should just be delegating away. As class rep, it's your job to be on top of things. This kind of disregard for proper procedure is really just terrible.
They completed it, being capable of doing so, but the students have been sick recently, so they could not come to school and give it back to me. If you want, I will apologize on their behalf for getting sick.
Okay.
Although Misha misses Lily's little jab entirely, Shizune doesn't, and she seems torn between being offended by Lily's daring and jumping for joy at the prospect of a challenge. Shizune just wants to fight. I fucking hate Shizune.
Lily, don't they live here at the school? That's a 5-minute walk, you know. What could they possibly have that prevents them from taking 5 minutes out of their busy lives to drop off something that will affect the enjoyment of their entire class?
Lily opens her mouth to say something, but Shizune closes the gap between them and starts signing furiously, waving her hands around like an orchestra conductor. Yeah, I'm sure that's gonna work real well for Lily. Good job. Misha tries her best to convey the same passion, but can't seem to lose her normal cheerful tone. The result is interesting and somewhat surreal.
And what's with that attitude? I said that it's not something you should be delegating away. Are you the class representative or aren't you? Tell me the names of those 2 students. They should have your job if you can't even handle something this simple yourself.
One form isn't the full extent of what I am supposed to take care of.
Lily's tone is growing slightly impatient. She's doing a good job of not letting Shizune see how unsettled she is becoming. She's playing her cards close to her chest. Izune, on the other hand, wraps her fingers cheerfully along the edge of her glasses, knowing Lily can neither hear nor see how excited she is.
Of course, you do so much, class rep. It must be so difficult being you.
Lily tightens her lips at Misha's words, clearly understanding the intent behind them, even though Misha delivers them without even a hint of the sarcasm which they were meant to have. Oh, I'm fucking that up then. Shizune and Lily don't like each other, that much is clear, but this seems a little much. It seems like Lily has had enough and is ready to push back. What the... Fight!
I don't think we needed the upskirt on the right.
There was an upskirt?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I was actually just discussing the budget report before you came by. You must be very talented to have finished all your student council duties so quickly that you can track me down to make sure I don't forget my own.
Are you accusing me of slacking off? It seems like you're confusing me with yourself.
I don't think so. That'd be a very difficult thing for me to do, comparing myself to you.
You're right. The difference between us is like heaven and hell.
It's not hard to guess which one might, and it's not hard to guess which one you might represent.
Oh, so there is. The air between them ripples with the heat of their enmity. Well, not really. I can't disguise it anymore, though. Even Misha looks like she's beginning to understand the real nature of this conversation.
Hee-chan, don't you slack off either. What are you talking... What are you dragging me into this for? Aren't you taking part in the festival, Hee-chan? You are, aren't you? Then I hope you're going to do a lot more to make sure it goes smoothly than this person.
We got here 2 days ago.
I don't understand why Shizune is suddenly getting mad at me. Don't drag me into this, I've done my part, or hey, come on, cut me and Lily some slack.
Hmm.
The
Lily didn't seem to like the pity thing, though.
Also, the bottom one seems a lot more passive, and the top one is like... It pretty much sums up my thoughts of, can you just go fuck yourself?
What, have we done anything?
We helped Risa. We helped Rin paint.
All right, yep, we did our part.
Don't drag me into this, I've done my part. Why am I being dragged into this again? I've done more than enough, I think.
We only learned the festival was happening yesterday, and no one really asked us to do anything.
Also, we ran around collecting supplies for these people.
Yeah.
Also, we're the new guy. We still don't even know the school layout. How are we supposed to know how to help?
Yeah, I still get confused by the 3 zombies.
If you're angry with Lily, that has nothing to do with me. Oh, come on!
Oh, come on.
Oh, okay. Well, you accidentally sided with Shizune.
That is
Reload.
absolutely not what happened.
Reload.
I don't think you can take it back.
Alt F4.
I'm honestly
Okay.
willing to go back because that is a very clear case of them giving you an answer that does not mean what you think it does.
Glass him moment.
Pretty much. The bottom one seems a little too passive, but let's see where this goes for now.
I'm worried about the autosave, though.
I have a regular save state, and I can just skip through the dialogue.
Now, wait
Alright.
just a second. Are you implying the president is more right in scolding me than yourself?
Ah, damn, I think I could have worded that better. No, I don't know about that, but, I mean... What are you saying, Hee-chan? Just that I hardly think it's fair you could say that, seeing that I've helped you guys. The mood has changed. It's like a showdown between 2 gunfighters now. Well, it was like that before too, but this time Shizune's focus is on me. And so is Lily's, though she keeps quiet. I'm afraid I inadvertently pissed her off. Yeah, we're probably gonna go back, but I'm gonna see where this goes for a bit. Are you saying I'm wrong? What a dangerous situation. Give me the option to say yes. It's too early to argue with you. Yes, I think it's unfair of you to get on my case.
Hee-chan, you want too much.
What?
What? What? Do we want to not be part of their argument?
Okay. Shizune started off as me just being like, alright, and then, not really a fan of her. I fucking hate her.
This
This
is
is-
like been a whole nother side.
This is...
I knew she was like a little competitive. She was into her job. She was a little pushy. This is a lot.
Yeah, this is her... Like, there is no other way to put this. She is literally looking for a fight. I would say, wow, look at her trying to fight the disabled person, but, I mean... Sean, you want too much, but you have a point. Okay. You're not lazy, Hee-chan. Ha ha ha! Shizune pushes her glasses up with her thumb almost approvingly. That's good. If you're not useless, you shouldn't let anyone say you are. But the next time I say it, it'll really be because you are disappointing me like Miss Class Rep here, so don't let this go to your head. If you're not useless, don't let people say you are, unless it's me.
That's not quite what she said, but...
If you're not useless, don't let anyone say you are. But when I say it, then I mean it. When I say it, it's because you are actually being useless. Like, I'm dumbing it down, but that is what's being said. Lily takes the jab silently, a venomous visage frozen on her face. Class rep, Shichan says, don't forget to report, please. Tim?
I won't. Would that be all?
Yep.
Then good day to you all.
Her voice would cut the air of the classroom into half if it was more tangible. Yeah, I'm gonna reset. That was absolutely a case of the answer we chose did not lead to the path that we thought it would. Hang on, I think I can actually just go back to menu.
You can actually just load.
Yeah. Alright. This will take a moment, but... Oh, wait a minute! That's what this is for! Wait, hang on, skip mode. Here we go. Because I'm pretty sure if it's like other visual novels, skip mode stops at choices. Right, this whole thing. It went on a lot longer than I thought it did.
Yeah, it did.
Okay, a little bit more. I'll stop once we get to, like, the confrontation scene. Yeah.
Shake, shake, bang. Fastest duel ever.
Oh, hey, there's actually a check mark there to show that we have seen that route. Alright, if this one also somehow leads Lily to get mad at me, then I don't fucking know. I'll go back to the other one, because at least in that one I tell Shizune to fuck off. Hey, I'm the new guy, remember? It's not like I could have done much even if I wanted.
That's right. You shouldn't expect a transfer student to jump right into it on his first week.
Lily taking my side feels oddly comforting, so I decide to back her up too. Yeah, okay. The bottom one definitely did seem like if this was a choice between the two, the bottom one was for Lily. But the top one really did not feel like it was for Shizune. Like,
I thought the bottom one was a trap because Lily seemed like a little offended that we acted like she couldn't defend herself.
I also saw it as like the top one was being aggressive, so it was against Shizune because she started this, and the bottom one was being passive, which would probably lead to like them just continuing without me anyway, because I was just like, hey, leave me out of this.
Yeah, I was looking it up, and the top one is to get you more steered towards the Shizune route.
That makes no fucking sense. Alright, so I'm going to say right now, I will now actively go back and choose other options if the option I choose leads down a path that it was not obvious it would do. Like, that one, where I say, hey Shizune, fuck off, and it leads to, hey Shizune, we like each other now. Yeah, you're being unreasonable with us both. Excuses. Miss Class Rep has had plenty of time to deal with her report.
and we repeatedly offered you a position to help with the student council work, but you refused to commit yourself to making the festival a success.
That is not what we refuse to commit to.
Can I point out that this is literally her saying, we offered you a chance to do unnecessary work and you didn't? Yeah, but as I said back then, I'm not sure if... I don't have time with this right now. No matter what I do will mean being drawn into a confrontation with Shizune. That is what she wants. Whatever. Forget it. I turn my back at them. Lily, class is going to be starting soon, so we can talk more later. I'll tell Hanako you were looking for her. I can feel Shizune freezing. Maybe this is the first time she's ever been ignored in such a blunt manner. Shizune literally just wants to fight. You get points with her by fighting with her. She just likes to argue.
So, question, for future choices, do we want to just get like an idea of who we're going for each, or are we still going to just try and feel it out?
We're going to feel it out. The only time I'm going to go back is if I make a choice and the dialogue goes down a way that is completely different than what the choice itself implied.
All right.
Because here it was me saying, hey, leave me out of this. I've done my part, and it somehow led to,
you stood up for yourself.
Or, like, which makes sense, but it led to liking Shizune and disliking Lily, which makes no sense.
Yeah, I don't. The diss to Lily in that part is what bothered me. It's like, no, you're standing up for yourself. It doesn't mean you're redirecting.
It was. I think it's literally just because I think it was.
He worded it weird.
Yeah, something like that, and then he worded it weird, and then he decided to stammer instead of correcting himself because it's anime.
Thank you, Hisao. I'll leave now then.
She gives me the sweetest smile I've seen all week and turns on her heels to make her exit.
Yeah.
As soon as Lily walks out the door, I suddenly start feeling reluctant about turning to face Shizune. Yeah, don't blame
I choose to not turn around.
I can feel her eyes burning into my back and can't bring myself to look at her. She must be furious. I keep expecting Misha to say something to alleviate the tension, but it really is wanting too much.
I have an idea. Turn back around, but have your eyes closed.
We're not exactly aiming for the Lily route either, but it's a lot better than the Shizune route.
Yeah, like, I think, honestly, if I make a choice, and even if it's, like, the choice I wanted to make, if it gets me points with Shizune, I might back out of it just because I really don't want her route.
It seems like you think being, like, one of the first few people you meet, they would be, like, kind of the easy, casual one, but no.
Yeah.
Right now it seems like the priority is Hanako or Emi, Rin, Lily, Shizune.
Yeah, that's the order. Put Kenji in between Lily and Shizune.
It's just like, what do you want to do? I don't know. I kind of want to go grab 2 beers and just listen to Kenji shout shit at me.
I mean, I'm not sure if it's a forced scene, but there is a scene where you and Kenji just hang out on the rooftop and just stare at the stars and talk.
I feel like if like the Kenji route, quote unquote, is just like an Act 1 ending that doesn't actually like lead to a full on route. It's probably just like an ending sort of thing.
The game as a whole has 4 acts, and we're somewhat close to the ending of Act 1.
I mean, look at it this way, Max. If you were trying to go for the Kenji route, you've already seen him naked.
True. Oh god, not Kenji. Look, Sylvia, Kenji is better than Shizune. Because at least when Kenji goes off and is just being angry and weird, he's funny. In the end, I go back to my seat and listen to the sound of Shizune's footsteps as she marches out of the room. She doesn't return until a few minutes before class.
What about Misha, though?
Hanako doesn't... I have no idea. Misha is irrelevant as hell. Hanako doesn't come to the morning... I like Misha, but it's hard... It does... Like, from the way...
Does it seem like you could separate them?
Oh yeah, definitely not. But I will say, it does seem like Misha is not trying to foster the argument between the two, because she wasn't being sarcastic. She was just literally translating what Shizune said. I feel like if Misha was like to add in her own 2 cents to this, at most it would be like, I'm staying out of this.
It's not confirmed, but a lot of people think Misha has some form of ADHD, considering how she has trouble reading other people, and she's just always doing stuff.
And the random laughing.
Which I mean, hey, the random laughing might be her translating Shizune laughing. Hanako doesn't come to the morning. Also, why is the music for this scene so much louder?
What do you mean?
Hanako doesn't come to the morning class at all, leaving her seat looking empty and lonely in the back of the classroom. I have to tell her that Lily was looking for her if I see her later. Maybe not like that, but after the events of this morning, class is pretty boring in comparison. I turn the pages of my textbook lazily. I have a bit of catching up to do, despite trying to keep up with my studies at the hospital, and I'm not feeling that enthusiastic about it. The clock at the front of the room sounds unbearably loud. Yeah, so does the music. Teacher hasn't said anything in over 7 minutes. Very specific. Instead, opting to cover the board in rows and rows of equations taken directly from the book. The rhythmic clashing of chalk on blackboard seems to synchronize perfectly with the ticking of the clock.
That reminds me of Emmy's running.
I start to copy down...
Imagine keeping up on school while in the hospital, and it turns out you're just going to transfer anyway, so all the work you did is pointless.
Yeah.
Hang on, a cat wants into my room. There. Hi, you stupid cat. Yeah? Yeah? No, you do not get to go over to the door right after I brought you in. No, you're staying here.
I wanted to make sure there were no girls in here.
No, you live here now. Yeah, hang on. Where is it? Alright, now give me the meows. Meow? 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 There.
Is it bad? I kind of wish they would escalate the more you do it until it just sounds like it slaps you in the face. Meow, damn it, fine.
Alright. I do remember, God, one of my fondest memories of one of the dogs I used to have is that, we were, I was like, I was a kid and was in my parents' bedroom talking to my dad, and he had like, he was like lying in bed and had the dog like sitting next to him, and as he was talking, the dog just looked at him, and just in the middle of him speaking, the dog brings his paw up and slaps it on my dad's mouth.
Shush, quiet time.
Pretty much, yeah. Alright, anyway. I start to copy down the equations just to pass the time, even though they are right there in the textbook. Waste of paper! When the bell rings, I'm not in a hurry because I have nothing to do, so I stay for a while, reviewing what we covered in class today. I prefer to leave last anyway, so I don't have to deal with crowding in the hallways. I notice Shizune and Misha have also stayed behind, talking to someone from another class. Shizune's signing so fast that her hands make noises like swords cutting through the air. Is Shizune deaf or is she just a ninja? Maybe there is pent-up anger in there. Misha is trying desperately to keep up, but it's clear she can barely manage to even understand her. I put my head down. Whatever they're discussing, it looks like serious business. Shizune signs to the point where her wrists crackle, and Misha struggles to spit it out in word form. Sometimes she trips over herself like she's dealing with tongue twisters, and then on top of that, she has to sign back anything the other girl says. Seems like a rough job. Misha looks tired, like she's about to faint. Luckily for her, their business is soon finished, and the girls sit down on their seats again. I'm so tired! I'm turning the music down. She's hanging her head limply on her desk, looking exhausted. I'll use this opportunity to reconcile with Shizune a bit, without getting roped into the student council thing again, though I suspect that door is now closed for me. Festival preparations must be tough for you. Indeed, the people in the school seem to be taking the festival very seriously. Whenever I see people idling around before and after classes, they're always talking about their plans for it. It's kind of neat to see everyone being so enthusiastic about it. I'm probably the only one who doesn't have something to do. Shizune scoffs at me at first, as if trying to decide whether to ignore or sneer at me, but in the end, she starts signing without doing either. Misha perks up, looking at her hands with slightly unfocused eyes. She signs with harsh, heavy, dramatic strokes. Misha translates her signing into speech form. She does it so well, it's almost like Shizune is actually speaking, transmitting her thoughts directly through Misha. She must have practiced it vigorously.
Well, of course. We're in the student council, you know, so we're pretty busy. It's an important duty of ours to ensure the success of the festival with all our strength. We would shame ourselves in front of the past student council generations if the festival were to fail. That's why there must be no flaws, I think that was encumbrances, no, nothing that might make the festival short of perfect. Shizune's passionate speech and Misha's enacting are really oddly fitting of them. Oh, hello! Oh. I look over my shoulder and see Hanako peering timidly into the classroom, most of her body hidden behind the door. Hey, playing delinquent again? Hanako blushes hard at Misha's straightforward jab, even if it was only in jest. Shizune stares at her probingly, causing Hanako to look down and start backing away to the point where only her fingers can be seen wrapped nervously around the edge of the door. Maybe she is showing her dislike of Hanako by association of her dislike of Lily. It appears so, and Hanako probably knows it as well. What is it, Hanako?
Has Lily been here?
Sorry, haven't seen Sato. She, came by in the morning, though.
Hanako keeps looking uneasily at Shizune, who stares back at her with her usual studying gaze. What is she trying to do? Of course, Shizune isn't going to look away, and she's intimidating enough as it is, so I can only imagine how terrified Hanako would be. It is a little uncomfortable watching Hanako's reaction to Shizune's normal behavior. This is what happens when two people of two different extremes meet, it seems.
Do you know where she is?
If she has any sense in her head, she's in her classroom working on their festival project. But who knows where that woman is loitering at?
You need to find her? She was looking for you in the morning, but I guess you have missed each other. She waits a little without answering the simple question, looking awfully like she's not sure if it's proper to answer such a question.
Yeah.
I can come with you, if it's okay. Hanako nods fractionally, still on her guard, her shoulders stiff like wood. I get the feeling that she might be more comfortable by herself after all, but it's too late to back off now. She has this really troubled expression she seems to wear almost constantly, one that makes me constantly be on guard myself. I wonder why. I kind of understand why she always seems to be so wary, and maybe more like why there could be a person like her. But I still have no idea how I should act around such a person. It's dinner time soon. Were you planning to eat with Lily? We had one class! Does he mean lunch? She nods slightly. So she must have been trying to get in the cafeteria. Well, there's something of a dinner crowd, just like the cafeteria is crowded during lunch. It's not as bad because dinner time is longer than lunch hour, but I can understand why Hanako could be discouraged from going in. I pick up my bag and we take our leave. Hanako skips a little to meet my initial pace, so I slow down to match her speed. Zombie! Doesn't take long for us to be walking at a comfortable pace down the hallway. Comfy over there?
Well.
Almost feels like we're going for a stroll together. Something that I can't say I've really done before with a girl. You just ran with a girl? Hanako doesn't seem to be thinking the same thing, though. Even though we are walking at the same pace, she never comes within his arm's reach of me. I guess she's still a little uncomfortable around me. Given how shy she is, there doesn't seem to be much helping it, at least for now. By the time we arrive at the cafeteria, there's not much of a crowd there, but Lily is nowhere to be seen. Hanako's head sinks even lower than usual. Have you looked somewhere else already? I know, that's you.
Oh. Just at the library. I was reading.
So she does spend the classes she skips at the library. So not exactly a thorough search then. Well, if I had to guess, she'd be in her own class like Shizune said, right?
Right.
With the slightest of nods, Hanako agrees with my reasoning. God, she's being so awkward. It's like I need double-layered silk gloves with padding to even begin interacting with her. Some small talk might help her become a bit more used to me. It isn't hard to tell the silence between us is hovering on the edge of both of our minds. So, you and Lily usually hang out together after class, right?
Yes.
I'm not quite sure what I expected from her answer, nor why I even asked the question. That much was rather obvious, after all. She doesn't seem like the type to cultivate a social circle either, so I suspect that Lily may well be her only friend. Must be a pain being in different classes, I'm guessing. She gives a sharp, almost reflexive nod. Compared to Lily's careful thought about her actions and speech, Hanako hastens to make her answers as prompt and short as possible. Rhino,
Oh, my bad.
you're falling asleep, aren't you?
No, just taking a second. Lily comes by the classroom, though, even when she's busy.
She gives a small smile as she says it, evidently appreciating the fact that Lily goes out of her way to help her. It's pretty cute, really. There isn't any need to say more, both of us content that the discussion's reached an end. As we ascend the stairs back to the lobby, we are met by a group of students heading downstairs, like a school of fish moving from one feeding area to another. They seem to be keeping mostly to themselves, but before I can notice her doing so, Hanako has moved around behind me. Hey, are you alright?
Just keep going.
The students pass us without so much as a second glance, and Hanako takes up position to my side again as we enter the building, her momentary reprieve from her anxiety all but snatched away. Even as we climb towards the third floor, she doesn't seem to relax. It isn't as if I've never known a shy person before, or even shy girls, but Hanako seems to be pretty far beyond what I'd call normal in her fear of other people. If it weren't for Lily acting as a mediator, I doubt Hanako would have even been able to walk beside me like this. She seems to completely shut down in the presence of others. The rest of the walk up to Lily's classroom continues in strained silence, while I rue her inability to socialize at all. Zombie! After we make our way up the stairs, the noise coming from Lily's classroom is audible from halfway down the hallway. I wasn't expecting such a din at all. Well, I guess we found her. This wasn't hard. Did Hanako come here first, then come to me for backup, I wonder? Well, if that's true, then at least she's starting to trust me a little. That can only be a good thing. Eventually, the two of us reach the door to class 3-2. With Hanako less than subtly positioning herself behind me, I open the door. Inside is a hive of activity, seemingly every student in the class talking at once as they work hurriedly on their separate tasks. Going by the paint cans, decorations, and banners being made, it must be for the upcoming school festival. I guess my first priority should be finding Lily. There. Finding her among the din is surprisingly easy, not the least because of her looks. With a couple of students gathered around her as she stands at the front of the class, she seems to be in charge of the preparations, or at least busy organizing them. Carefully negotiating a path through the various students hunched over the floor for lack of desk space, I raise a hand entirely out of habit as we finally reach Lily. Hi, Lily. She perks her head up as she breaks off talking to a noticeably smaller girl who must be her classmate, trying to listen as best she can.
Sorry, who?
And sorry, Hisao. I have Hanako too.
Hi.
She's pretty skittish. Considering the number of people around, it isn't too hard to work out why. Lily takes a moment's pause to assess the situation before turning to the other student once again.
for the moment, just ask Moria for his advice. Kenji's busy with painting one of the banners already.
What? Kenji's doing stuff? A quick nod as she bounces off, fingers carefully sliding along the wall's face for orientation. Wait, Kenji? That Kenji? I quickly turn about, leaning to the side to see past Hanako. Sure enough, in a corner of the room, Kenji's hunched over a sheet of cloth as he paints it. His eyes remain only inches from the brush, reminding me of how close he had to be to make out my face when I met him.
Sorry about that. Our class doesn't have many students with even partial eyesight, so they're in high demand.
Did they just put all the blind people in one class?
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah, but then why is our class...
Well, because
everything?
blind people need a specific method to be taught.
Don't deaf people too?
Well, not if you have someone there to translate for them.
I guess. Holy shit, man!
But
What
with
sort of
blind-
cataract? Do you mean? Sylvia, are you talking about Lily or Kenji? Because Lily's blind.
I think Kenji, because even with super big glasses, he still can't see anything.
Yeah, I think that he said like he's legally blind, so he can see, but like barely.
I mean, I think I'd be legally blind too, considering my eyesight's too poor to drive, but I can see fine with my new glasses.
Yeah, legally blind is usually fixed with glasses.
I just really can't see anything more than like 10 or 15 feet away. Like, I cannot read the street sign on the opposite side of the road.
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same way. It's one of the many reasons I don't want to drive. That's right. Class 3-2 was specially for students with poor vision. Wait a minute! I just realized that means that Shizude has basically been saying, "Hey, why aren't you blind people hurrying up?"
Well, she can't say it.
Hurry up and give me the written paper. 3-2 was specially for students with poor vision. Preparing for the festival must be pretty arduous for them. Need a hand? I could give you help if you need some. Maybe Hanako could too.
You know, if there's Braille letters, are there Braille numbers too? I never thought about this.
There are. That's what they use for in elevators. A chance to set her
I
mind
think
on...
Rhino's disability is narcolepsy.
Yeah. Give me a second. I need to grab something. Alright. A chance to set her mind on something would do her good, but I doubt she has the courage to ask outright. She quickly nods an affirmation afterwards, so I'm confident I made the right move. Lily gives a noticeable sigh of relief.
Oh, okay. That's good. This might actually get finished before everyone goes off to dinner now. Would you be able to help the person painting the main banner? It's a big task for him to do, but nobody else can help.
That's Kenji, isn't it? Kenji? Sure. Oh boy! We get Kenji time outside of the dorms! She seems surprised that I know him. Can't really blame her.
I take it you've met?
Our rooms in the dorm are right next to each other. Hard to miss each other, really. Rhino!
He decided to jump me in the shower today.
What happened?
You just gave off a snore that was like a dragon's breath.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, it's good to see you're getting friends so fast.
Friend. Wonder if that's the right word to use for him. Hanako's silence during the proceedings reminds me of the reason I put her up to helping in the first place. We'll go help him then. He knows what needs doing, right?
That's right. Just ask if you have any problems.
Chorusing what? Chorusing in a what the fuck does that mean?
The writers are trying a bit too hard sometimes.
Chorusing in ascent. The first thing that comes up is a Reddit post for chorusing to improve your accent. Yeah, I have no idea what that's supposed to mean. Chorusing in ascent, Hanako and I begin another trek across the classroom. Kenji sits crouched on the floor, his gaze fixed on the white calico in front of him. Sorry. It means both are saying yes at the same time. Oh! Okay. Thank you, Sylvia. Hey, Kenji. No answer. He continues dragging his paint-soaked brush along the large, half-painted kanji that's sketched on the sheet in pencil. That's something now. Rhino.
Sorry.
Kenji?
Huh? What? Who is it?
This is the way he treats class members. It's no small wonder he's working on this alone. It's me, Sal from...
Right, I know that man. What are you doing here, though?
His dismissive attitude annoys me. He must be the type to really get focused on his work, hating to be disturbed by anyone until he's done, I suppose. I mean, I'm like that too. While we talk, the sound of Hanako's footsteps as she walks out from behind me remind me that she's here. I was just going... Rhino!
What? I didn't snore in already.
Yes, how do you keep doing that? It's between 10 seconds after we get you up again.
We're just going to help with the banner. Hanako and I, that is. Rhino.
Okay, come on. Surely not.
No, but you have dialogue.
Not snoring, but it's your
Okay.
turn.
Okay. Hello.
Oh, yeah, hey. I guess that's okay.
As soon as Hanako enters the equation, his demeanor takes a complete about face. His sudden faux hospitality is slightly unsettling. Oh, right, women. On second thoughts, this may not have been a great idea after all. Close-up. Hanako and I grudgingly set ourselves down on opposite side of the cloth banner to Kenji, noting the several small paint tins on the ground around it. Class 3-2 noodle stall? You guys selling noodles at the festival on Sunday?
Yeah, some stalls outside. Or something.
Or something? His non-committal nature sparks a fair amount of suspicion on my behalf. Stop. The task at hand comes first, though. So how do you want to split this? We do borders while you do the text, or do you want to switch and do the borders?
Text is mine. You do borders.
He has surprisingly strong feelings on the topic. As I reach over to grab a brush, I notice Hanako's already debating between colors to use.
I don't exactly want to hear Kenji's opinion about borders.
Look, to be fair, it seems like the only thing he has problems with is girls. Which is bad, but it could be worse.
Well, that's just because this is like mid-2000s Japan. There's only Japanese people here.
Yeah. Also, you can really tell the difference in art styles between these two. By the time I've put brush to cloth, she's already started on a delicate pattern. Looks like my idea of taking her mind off everyone around her worked. With a dark blue stroke, the three of us silently get to work. Not before Kenji takes advantage of Hanako's working to lead towards me and whisper conspiratorial Conspiratorially, though.
Okay, man, why are you here?
Hanako just wants some help to find Lily, that's all. He apparently disapproves of my motivations.
I get it. It looks like I misjudged you. You're infiltrating them, aren't you? Going deep undercover.
I mean, I'll be going deep eventually. I should have guessed. Letting the truth slip by him would probably be better than outright lying or annoying him in any case. Is that why you're here?
Obviously. It sucks, but there's no better way to get intel than going in yourself. Gotta stick together, man. It's a harsh school, a harsh world.
Yes, very harsh. He misses my true meaning as he leans back, satisfied I'm sympathetic to his cause. I better get down to work.
Finish.
Oh, that was Hanako. Rhino.
I'm here. Although I wasn't
you're not.
quite sure if that was.
You're absolutely not here, Rhino, we know.
For the past half hour, you keep doing that.
Finished.
Looks like I am too. Good job. Two of us connect up the lines of our patterns, mine being as close a copy as I could manage of hers. I was hoping it would show us. With a grunt, I lever myself up from the floor and look around. Aside from Hanako and myself, there's only Kenji left, finishing off a sign, as well as Lily and a couple of students talking among themselves in the classroom. Looking at my watch, it's no surprise. It's getting pretty late. Need a hand? I offer a hand to Hanako, which she uses to get herself up. As she does, I can't help but glance at her wrist. If her scars extend to even there, just how much of her body was burned? I feel a... Rhino.
Here, yep.
You are managing to go through like a half dozen different types of snoring.
Okay, there's no way I was snoring just now.
You were.
You're going.
We have the footage.
Yeah, I can't even imitate it, but you have done like high-pitched short snores. You have done the classic. You've done.
Huh.
You've gone between all of them. Give me just a second, I'm dealing with something on the side here.
Is it the cat?
No.
Not while you're doing that.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and stretch or something.
Okay.
Right. I feel a pang of guilt about it, however, as she quickly covers her wrist with her other hand. Looks good, doesn't it? She looks surprised for a moment before noticing that I need the banner. Your birds look great, Hanako!
It does, I guess.
Her smile shows as she feels a slight sense of pride in the result, just as I do. With the floor significantly neater for the decorations being placed on desks and shelves, it's much easier to get to Lily as we cross the room. We finish the banner. Guess that's all that needs to be done? Lily gives an appreciative nod. Tim?
Oh, okay. Thank you, Isao. Hanako. If there's any way I can thank you...
It's fine. Beats sitting in my room studying at any rate. Rhino?
I don't mind either.
Okay. She nods before suddenly remembering one last person.
Oh, is Kenji still here?
I don't think he's ever been here, if you know what I mean. Just as I open my mouth, Kenji gives the answer from the other side of the room.
Yeah, I just finished!
He carefully slides his sign onto an empty section of shelf to dry before quickly walking past us and out the door.
See ya, man.
Bye. The remaining 2 students say their goodbyes to Lily before taking their cue to leave as well, leaving only the 3 of us. Well, I guess that's everyone.
Everyone else, fuck off. There's bonding happening.
I hope we don't have to do anything like that again.
Working past school time?
Indeed. The class's plans this year were ambitious. Maybe too ambitious.
The stalls look nice, though.
She's right. Shows that a lot of work's gone into them.
My, I'm sure a lot of us would be glad to hear that. At least now there's not much work to do until the festival itself.
Fuck!
What?
She doesn't.
I just said it looks like a lot of work's gone into them, and she said, I'm sure a lot of us would be glad to hear that.
She has no idea how good the stalls look because, you know.
It's getting pretty late. Should we go?
I will always love the fact that in Avatar, they obviously point out, when it causes problems, but the fact that Toph's blindness is managed to be treated comedically, but also respectfully, is a very, a mix that I very much appreciate.
I think the respectful part was just the fact that she made most of the jokes.
Yeah, but I mean, the fact that the jokes existed, they did it respectfully. They didn't make her comic relief because she's blind. They made her a character whose jokes are mostly that she's blind.
Wonder if they're gonna do any in the new upcoming time skip movie, because I know they replaced Toph's voice actress with one that's legally blind now.
Why?
I assume it's just to get an older voice.
No, it's just a thing of, oh, we have to get actors who are like the people they're voicing now.
I can understand to an extent them doing this for
I get it for people of certain races now. I get
yeah,
that.
because you can't. There are.
But what
you
if being
can sound
blind
different.
add to portray?
Yeah.
What if being blind add to portraying a blind character?
Yeah, that's a bit that I find weird, and also feels like it would just make it more difficult to get them to learn the lines.
Wait, is it like a live action or is it animated?
It's animated. It's doing
Then what the fuck does it matter?
It's animated. It's gonna be the main all the main cast in their 20s now.
It's voice actors. Just get good ones.
Yeah.
I think Toph's voice actress could have done her at an older age. She's been in the industry for a long time. She could have probably did
did
her.
her voice-
Just get whoever did her voice in Korra whenever she was in
She's
her
not
prime,
that old.
in
She's
her
not that.
ancient.
That's the problem. She's not that old. In Korra, she's like elderly.
No.
Like,
if
I
you
know-
let me finish. I said in the flashbacks when she was in her prime, not when she's ancient.
Oh, I haven't watched enough Korra to know that there were those flashbacks.
Definitely for Aang, they would need a new voice actor because Aang is not going to sound the same in his 20s as he did when he was 12.
I mean,
again, Korra showed him in his 20s.
also, the voice actors have gotten older too.
That's fair, but ranges are a thing.
I guess we'll see what comes of it when it comes. They haven't even shown any previews of it yet.
Yeah.
Animated doesn't matter. If it was live action, I could see it being one for mannerisms. Yeah, and I don't know for sure, but I imagine they'll probably do that for the live action series. Or they'll do something for that. Though, I mean, to be fair, Toph's whole thing is even though she's blind, she still sees because she has the earthbending, and so she knows what everything around her looks like.
I think they're getting an actual blind actress for Toph in that series too, which at least makes sense.
That part makes sense.
Yeah, but I'm just imagining with Toph, she is blinded that her eyes don't work, but doesn't she describe the way she has earthbending? It's basically she sees.
Tremor sense.
She sees the way I imagine it is she still sees everything, but it's all black with white outlines is sort of what I imagine.
She sees
Yeah, but
shapes, so books and shit don't do anything for her. But she can tell if what you're looking at.
I know she
Yeah,
does.
like
She does specifically have a line in one episode where she mentions that she doesn't know what Katara looks like. So I imagine it is just like blobs to an extent, but she can still like maneuver perfectly fine.
Yeah, but when she's not on ground, she can't see. Like whenever they're flying on Appa, she's completely blind.
Yeah, she's like, I see what is on Appa, and that is it. But
My
by the way, I
favorite
just wanna
moment
point out-
my favorite moment will forever be, there it is! That's what it'll sound like when one of you sees it.
Yeah, that's one of the top ones, but that's like a smaller note. I do always appreciate in that series how they actually went the extra mile for animating Toph, where it's like she'll like if she's like in like a serious conversation or like in like a casual conversation, most of the time if she's talking to you, she does not bother to face you because it doesn't do anything for her.
Yeah, I have noticed that, yeah. There's a compilation on YouTube of just all the times that Toph's blindness is used as a joke, and it was put up by the official Avatar The Last Airbender YouTube channel.
Yeah.
That's how you know they lean into it. Anyway.
On a slightly more focused note, whenever I see Hanako's burns, they remind me of dragon scaling.
I kind of see it too.
It's getting pretty late. Should we go? Toph predicting the rise of the audiobooks.
Right, because with the library, she was like, let me know if you find anything I could listen to.
Oh, I think this is another thing about it, because the new girl voicing Toph is not only legally blind, but she's also Asian, and Toph's original voice actress was white.
Okay, again, the race thing I sort of understand, because there are noticeable differences. It's just, in some things, it really doesn't matter. Like, I don't think you should replace a voice actor with another one just for race, but if you're finally getting, like, a voice actor for a new project, then, I mean, I'm not going to complain if you focus on trying to get someone who matches their ethnicity.
This also makes sense because it's someone who's worked with Nickelodeon a lot. She's done voices for Rugrats and Fairly Odd Parents.
Okay, well, if she's old hat.
Yeah, she voiced Trixie in Fairly Odd Parents and Kimmy in Rugrats.
I don't know either of those characters.
So it's someone Nick already had the number for.
Okay, then that's more fun.
Yeah. I just think it's stupid to replace an already existing voice actor in order to like make them more accurate to the character. But if you're casting in the first place, like this is, then that's perfectly fine as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah,
blind thing is still a bit weird to me, but
because of the culture, a lot of white voice actors have stepped down from voicing non-white characters in the last couple years.
If they do a good job, let them do the damn thing.
You know how people are now, Rhino.
Stupid?
yeah.
Yep.
Alright then.
That's probably a good idea. Are you going back to the dorms as well, Hisao?
Yeah, I guess I'll tag along. The nighttime lighting really makes the gardens look quite different compared to the
Looks
usual.
the same to me.
Can you call this a garden? It's just a few trees.
And a rock! There's a rock right there. That makes it a garden. It's the garden
Good
rock.
sitting rock.
Compared to the usual look of lush greenery, things are much more calm. Being that it's so late, the lack of students around probably helps. The odd one or two could be seen scurrying to and from the dorms, trying to eke the most out of their approaching curfews, but no more. All that can be heard is our footsteps, in addition to Lily's cane regularly gently tapping the ground in front of her.
You think she ever just does a tune on it for shits and giggles? I know I definitely would.
It's nice to finally be able to relax a bit after the mad rush during school. Without even noticing it, I let out a small yawn.
Tired?
Yeah, still getting used to the flow of things, I guess. Did you know I've been here for about 3 days and they already expected me to put together the entire fucking student council or something like that? The, thing with Shizune took me kind of off guard, though. I grit my teeth a little at the candid mention of their rather public spat. But, well, that was me. That said, I do want to sort out what in the world was behind it.
About that. I'm sorry about it being so public. Shizune and I go back some ways.
Her voice seems slightly irritated as she remembers Shizune, obviously unwilling to discuss it any further. I glanced to Hanako for her views on this, but her expression is, unsurprisingly, evasive and difficult to read.
Holds up convenient newspaper.
Where did you get that? We just came from arts and crafts. Fair point. Either way, I guess her apologizing for it is something, even if my curiosity goes unanswered.
I'll be glad once the festival is over in any case.
Change of topics welcomed, clearing the thickening air quickly. I can imagine. My old school's festivals were a lot more low-key than this. There's some Thor as well.
Yamaku stresses the idea of a school community, so the staff likes to make our festivals and such special occasions.
And yet the students are the ones who do the work. What an unfair world. Hanako and Lily both chuckle in agreement, savoring the fact that none of the staff are around to hear our grumbling. Is this when...
Yeah.
This is when the nurse shows up.
I suppose coming from a strict all-girls school helped me a bit with Yamaku. Compared to there, Yamaku is much more relaxed.
That'd go away towards explaining her well-bred speech and behavior in any case.
She does strike me as like the finishing school type.
As we come up to the dormitories, it eventually comes time to leave for our respective rooms. See you, Lily, Hanako. I thought that was supposed to say see you later, Hanako, and just ignoring Lily.
See you later, Hanako. Lily and I are going back to my room.
No. The two get...
Oh no, I somehow ended up in your room.
And I'm naked. Hey, stop! What, you're fine with Kenji doing it? The two both give polite nods before setting off to the women's dorms, just next to the guys. As is to be expected of such an arrangement, there's a staff member casually patrolling around outside to prevent any nighttime shenanigans.
As also to be expected, there are people waiting for their vision code to turn around so they can sneak in to proceed with said shenanigans.
I never understood why they, like... Why do they care? Let people do what they're gonna do.
It's trying to prevent people from making stupid, impulsive decisions.
I guess, but... I mean, I guess it depends on what age they're at right now, but, like,
we said this was, like, college-ish.
Well, I know when I was in college, like, they didn't really care that much, like, you were in whatever dorm. Hell, boys and girls could literally share a dorm room with each other.
Well,
I haven't heard of that before.
I mean, might also partially be to prevent vandalism.
Yeah, I guess. But, yeah, no, it wasn't like we shared, like, a bedroom or anything like that. It was two bedrooms that were connected by a kitchen area that also attached to a bathroom. And it was two people to each room because there were two bedrooms. That was the sort of dorms that I was with. And it was like, yeah, boys and girls can room together. But we don't care. The bedrooms have locks on them. Walking past him, I quickly stretch my arms and rub my neck, both quite sore after having worked on the floor for so long before walking to my room. Feels good to actually have direction, though. After so long at the hospital, the everyday facts of studying, homework, and teachers seem almost a blessing. I guess if things continue like this, my time at Yamaku might turn out okay.
Yay, he's not such a fucking sad sack. He just needs some chill folks to hang out with and get his bearings.
Adhering to the nurse's nagging voice in the back of my head, I set my alarm clock to wake me up early enough to go jogging again. I think I know the sole reason that I can't really do exercise. I can't get up early. Oh, go exercising later in the day. Yeah, then there are bugs everywhere.
Yeah, I was about to say you could do what Jero does and jog at like night.
Fuck no. Jero
No,
does...
just go get stabbed.
Jero does that because he's in Texas, and the only time the temperature is ever roughly bearable is at night.
Correct.
I made a promise and I'm going to keep it. Besides, Emmy is bound to rat on me if I don't show up. But it's not...
Maybe.
Are you outside my window right now?
No.
Did you put on the super stilt feet?
You're on the 5th floor.
The super stilt feet?
I'm in the tree.
How are you getting down from the tree?
Figuring it out.
Emmy honestly, like, between that and also just what we've seen of her, Emmy gives me vibes of Lynn from Ghost Trick.
I am confident that something will work out.
It's not all
I
that.
died again.
One of my favorite moments from Ghost Trick is still when we find Lynn, and it's like the 3rd time she's died and we have had to save her, and we talk to her ghost, and she goes, "Ha ha! I died again!" And then the 4th time we find her, and she's like, "What took you so long?" I need to finish up that highlight reel and get it out. I've already finished doing everything. I just gotta trim it down to make it snappy between the jokes.
Yeah.
It's not all that bad. Oh, I guess I'm going to sleep now.
It's not all that bad.
I swear to God, I've probably asked this at some point. Not during this, but I've asked this before. Do blind people close their eyes to sleep?
I imagine they would, otherwise they would dry out.
I'm more wondering, like, do they let their eyes, do they just lie there blinking and then when they fall asleep their eyes close, or do they specifically close their eyes beforehand?
I mean, half the time they don't bother to open them anyway, so...
My morning alarm goes off and I flail about uselessly for a while until I remember that I decided to give morning runs another shot. I don't know if this was my greatest idea, but I'm determined to keep going. This is about my health, after all. Sure, things haven't been great lately for me, but that hasn't made existence so intolerable that I'm not going to try everything I can to stay healthy. Besides, it's all about asserting some kind of control over this thing, right? If I can manage that, well, I can manage anything. At least
You
that's
listen
what I
to
keep
me,
telling
Hart.
myself.
One day you will be in enough shape for me to bang.
I totally
And
misunderstood
then I'll
that at
die
first.
after.
I totally misunderstood what you meant at first, and I instantly remembered that Fallout New Vegas DLC where you can flirt with your own brain.
And your brain is like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
I think my favorite part is how, like, the brain has a British accent, and
Yep.
you're from, like, you know, Vegas.
It's also the fact that the brain has a male British accent, even if you're a woman.
Oh, that part I didn't know. Once again, it would appear that I'm not alone in my run. Emmy has a...
Tick, tick.
Emmy the clock has apparently been here for some time. It looks like she's already worked up a good sweat. Just when the hell does she come down here anyway?
I don't sleep. Oh, it's you. Surprised to see you again.
Why's that?
Well, not many people actually come back for a second try.
She frowns, seemingly annoyed by a passing thought.
Like the rest of the track team, for instance.
Oh, apparently the brain says it doesn't have options for voice modulators or something.
Yeah, it just has the one, but it's still funny.
I've only played through Fallout New Vegas and the DLCs once each. I played through Fallout New Vegas main story mode one additional time to just beat it on hardcore mode, but I followed it like a speedrun guide. So I have like very little memory. All I remember from that DLC is I really liked the stealth suit because I liked that it talked to you. And made things feel less lonely, and it would also, like, stim pack you.
Yeah, definitely have to be careful not to have super stim packs on you. That gets you addicted to that shit instantly.
I think when I played, I had, like... I think I just never got addicted by pure luck. Or no, what it was is I always sold anything I ever had that could do addictions and was like, I'll get by without it. Whereas in Fallout 3, I would carry around Buffout, and that was pretty much it. And I only carried that around because it was more health.
I pretty much specifically never used any of the drugs in Fallout, but it seems like if you go on some of the harder difficulties, it's sometimes needed.
Yeah. Did you read this line?
Yeah.
Okay.
Still, it was only supposed to be on a volunteer basis, so it's not that big of a shock.
So this means that she is, in fact, the entire track team.
Yep.
The stealth suit got many people addicted to Med-X. Yeah, I just
Yeah,
never,
that was it. It was Med-X, not Super Stimpaks.
Yeah, I just never had that stuff on me. I always sold it. Whenever I play a Fallout game, I end up super fucking rich because I loot everything and then sell everything. And then when I do that, when Rhino's watching, he's like, stop it. And I'm like, this is how I become Jeff Bezos.
You like how in Fallout 1, how you can just click the highest bid at the casino over and over again, and after half an hour, you will have made like a 200%, like a 2,000% profit easily.
Yeah.
It's more like you...
They got rid of that exploit in Fallout 2 because they knew about it.
I didn't.
I think it's mostly because the difference between your hoarding and my hoarding is at a certain point, I start to prioritize hoard, even though I will look through everything, whereas you're like, I will take everything. Meanwhile, you crawling down the street, unable to move faster than the fucking snail.
I mean, I prioritize.
If a game doesn't have a carry limit, I'll grab everything. But if it does have a carry limit, I'll only take the important stuff.
I did have the carry limit, or like whenever I got to the carry limit, I did start dropping stuff, but there does eventually reach a point where I don't have anything on me that I want to drop because it's all so good to sell. And that's the point where I'll be like, I'm just gonna walk there.
And meanwhile, I'll play Skyrim and be like, anything below a certain value to weight threshold, I don't bother with.
I end up super
You'd
fucking
really
rich.
You'd really hate having to play D&D with the rules as written encumbrance.
Yes, I would. My D&D inventories are hilarious.
I end up super fucking rich because I steal all the gold bars. Isn't the only way
I still need to successfully do that.
I'm pretty sure the only way you could possibly steal all the gold bars is either use some sort of glitch or exploit, or maybe I think there's a way that, like, max out your strength, get, like, a thing that get every single thing that increases your carry capacity, and have nothing else in your inventory.
No, the way to do it is literally just to grab it all, and then when you're like, I dare you to come out here, you instantly start leaving the thing, and then you pass on the other side of a pylon when he is going around to the vault, and then you just slow walk your way to the elevator.
Oh.
It's just you had to do it very specific timing-wise, because you could only go so fast.
Because you specifically have to not get seen by him or something?
Yes, because if he sees you, he instantly locks everything down.
Ah, okay. I have no memory of that. I remember.
I've never done it myself. I want to next time I play.
I remember really liking that, where it was like, here's all this gold. You cannot take it all with you, and that's like the whole point of the DLC. Is like,
it's about letting go. It literally repeats that to you.
Yeah. So anyway, let's come up with an exploit to take it all with us anyway.
Yeah, it's like, okay, teaching us a lesson is all well and good, but we also really want the money.
I remember when I played Skyrim, the dragons were so common that I would kill a dragon, and I would take like all the dragon bones and stuff, and I would like go between all the shops that I know of to sell things, because you know they have only so much money. And then I would finish selling it all and be like, finally, I walk out of the store, another dragon shows up, and I'm like, god damn it, now I gotta sell your bones!
Yeah.
Anyway.
We're on a lot of tangents today.
Yeah, sorry.
I guess it's pretty early in the morning.
A shrug, and suddenly it appears that she's forgotten what she was talking about. She started thinking about Skyrim, I'm guessing. The frown disappears entirely, and she seems to snap back to her previous train of thought. I love this, just...
Yeah, Sylvia, especially in Vegas where you had to keep your shit repaired. So, come on then.
What?
You're here to run again, right?
Well, yes.
So come on.
I find myself suddenly grabbed and yanked onto the track.
Do as I do, take off your pants and get on the track.
Things seem to be set on Holy
Mirioing.
I saw mirror and then the Y in yesterday, and I got... Things seem to be set on mirroring yesterday's run. That is, I seem to be struggling while Emmy moves with an effortlessness that I find enviable. It's incredibly bothersome to be so easily worn out. I know I should be patient and work toward things gradually, but it's difficult to stay positive about this. That's another problem with exercising, is it takes so long to get any progress, and the progress is it's consistently slow. I think if you're exercising to lose weight, a pound a week is what they consider good progress, and it's like, really? You can't go any faster?
Nah, it's unhealthy.
As somebody who is vastly overweight and wants to not be overweight, but doesn't think that I'll necessarily have the time for daily exercising a year from now when I'm looking for a job and such. We round the track and start on our second lap. Emmy seems to have grown impatient keeping pace with me and begins to pull away. This is where...
Meep meep.
This is where I gave out yesterday. Will I be able to do more? Okay, here's the way I see it. You would go for more because he said, this is where I stopped yesterday. And the idea is you want to do a little more each time.
Yeah, I think go for it. And even she said, look, you do just a little more each day.
I know, don't overwrite a save, create a new save. There we go. Just in case this kills me. What am I doing here? Am I really just going to fold and let Emmy pull ahead? Go for it will probably be Emmy route. Yeah, that's also what I'm thinking.
That or she's mad at you for almost fucking dying.
You ran into me, so your fault. I speed up. Okay, I don't know about speed up. I would say just keep going.
Yeah, that was just like go another half lap or something.
Yeah. The second lap's done quickly, and without even considering it, I keep going. Emmy looks back over her shoulder at me and grins.
Still going?
Wouldn't want you to think about it, shape. Whee! Emmy laughs, without breaking her stride no less, and speeds up even more. Yeah? All right over there? Cat just sat up from it was like asleep, and just sat up and looked around. And he's going back to sleep, okay. Mice! Cheese! Oh, no, never mind. Oh, this is the way we're gonna play things. I increase my own pace as well. Oh, boy.
Dude, you're gonna die.
I can feel my lungs burning, and my legs are starting to question just what the hell I think I'm doing. Lactic acid screams in my muscles. What the fuck is that? That sounds like milk.
So lactic acid is what builds up whenever you strain your muscles, and if you let it build up too much, you will actually find yourself unable to move.
Yeah, one thing I do know is that the whole point of exercise isn't to do a lot of exercise, it's to do a lot of exercise and then rest. So, because the whole point is that you basically, I think the way it's described is you exercise to hurt yourself, and then you rest so that your body can make itself stronger in response to you hurting yourself.
I remember one of my chemistry teachers from high school, or my biology teachers from high school, describing lactic acid. It was like, let me tell you the simple story. Once had a friend, ran a marathon, did fine, tired at the end, went to use the bathroom afterwards, could not get off the toilet. That's lactic acid buildup. It's like when your momentum dies, so does your muscle.
I remember Death Battle went into when analyzing Saitama, they analyzed the fact that he basically did 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 squats, and a 10-kilometer run every day. And they pointed out, if you do that, after a little bit, you will literally not be able to move. But he did it, so he broke his limits and is now unstoppable. And that's the story of Saitama. And it's like, that's basically correct. I can't let myself fall behind, because that would be a loss.
She's better than you.
The rational voice in my head inquires mildly just when we started playing the game. Rhino, you are the rational voice in my head.
Okay then. Slap, 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 slap. Stop being stupid.
I'd answer it, but I'm having a lot of trouble thinking at present.
Slap, 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 slap.
She's so fast. How the hell did she keep it? It's like a string.
And there it is.
It's like a string pulling at my chest. Okay, assuming this doesn't actually lead to a game over, once we're done this, I might go look just to make sure this doesn't fuck over my chances with Emmy. Because I can't imagine this making me have a better chance with anyone else.
I feel like she's up for you pushing yourself, but not to where you die. So I don't know how she'll take this.
It's like a string.
I see if she laps us again.
I will say, like, she was grinning and such, so I think maybe she doesn't understand the severity of it, so if we chose no, she'd probably be disappointed.
Yeah, I think we're fine with our choice. It's just whether we're fine and don't die.
You basically tear your muscles, which it then replaces with scar tissue. Yeah. Oh, and there's a condition where anytime you take any damage whatsoever, you damage your muscles, your skin, whatever, it gets replaced with bone. So if you ever, like, exert yourself, and then it replaces it with bone, you can't move that body part anymore. It's called locked-in syndrome, and it reaches the point where people are asked, how do you want to spend the rest of your life, sitting down or standing up? Anyway.
That reminds me of that dungeon meshy scene.
Okay, this is for Emiro. Okay, I just don't want it to be against Emmy route, because the fact that she's the only one around here makes me think it wouldn't get me points with anyone else.
Yeah. It just reminds me of the dungeon meshy scene where it's like, okay, you got bitten by a basilisk. I need you to sit down, fold your knees against your chest, and dip your head up. Why will that help? No, but it will make you easy to carry when you turn to stone. He's like, what? Jumps up in weird pose, then freezes into stone. Them. Fuck. Now it's awkward.
It's like a string pulling at my chest, a choking feeling of narrowness and pain. Before I can think of anything else, then, oh shit, the track disappears from under my feet.
And appears under your face.
I stumble, one hand shooting down to clutch at my chest, the other hitting the track to keep me from falling on my face. Emmy whirls around and her eyes widen.
Oh, right. Hisao! Again, it is just a fucking clock.
The clock in Majora's Mask be like.
Yep.
She yells at me, sprinting from the other side of the track.
What's wrong?
Dying, goodbye.
I'm dying.
I'm dying, Emmy. Nothing, just keep your breathing steady. Calm down. Don't panic. Don't panic.
Do you need me to get the nerve? What is that expression?
That.
It's like, is she trying not to laugh?
I feel like it got, like, messed with when they tried to do the zoom in.
Do you need me to get the nurse?
I close my eyes, shutting out the outside world. My heart struggles to regain its rhythm. Slowly, the pain in my chest begins to subside as I die. Soon it's gone like nothing happened.
Hooray!
It was nothing? No, something happened there. I open my eyes again and glance at a very worried Emmy. I think I'm fine. My voice sounds weird even to myself, oddly even and matter-of-fact. It makes Emmy frown.
I think I'm fine. I don't think you are.
She seems to come to a decision and nods to herself.
Right, you're coming with me. You've got to see the nurse.
Emmy grabs my arm and drags me up. I feel a bit wobbly, but I refuse the shoulder Emmy offers for support. Honestly, I'm a little ashamed by my own weakness. I'd really rather not have Emmy concerned about me, but it seems to be too late. Heck, I'd really rather not have anyone concerned about my condition, though at this point it seems to be too late for that as well. I'd like to be able to deal with the whole thing on my own without being a bother to anyone else. While I'm wishing for things, I'd rather not have this condition in the first place.
Might as well put that on there just in case. By the way, I like just like refuse the shoulder she offers you. Emmy, I'm currently riding an endorphin and adrenaline cocktail. I'm trying to enjoy it. Hormones. Nurse!
Emmy
She
crashes
found a
into
cocktail glass somewhere.
Emmy crashes into his office without knocking, but it doesn't alarm the nurse
hold
in
on.
the least.
Yeah! Dynamic entry.
This is Tim, I believe.
Oh, yep. Good morning, sunshine. What's up?
Mortality rates.
Sunshine. Anyway, he calmly sips from his coffee mug, but lays it down after following Emmy's gaze to me looming in the doorway.
Looming.
Sal, what brings you here?
Emmy.
Emmy. We were running and he stumbled over and started grabbing at his...
It actually did that on purpose.
We were running and he stumbled over and started grabbing at his chest. I thought I couldn't get you making way, but he said it was okay, and then I thought he should get... Yeah, okay, then I thought you'd come see him anyway, and...
Easy there, Emmy. Calm down.
Yeah, it does that on its own.
Sal, what happened?
I almost died.
I don't know. We were running, and my chest started hurting, like that time before. It went away after a few seconds. It was just a flutter or something. The nurse frowns, as if to say that just a flutter is some kind of oxymoron.
I didn't quite mean this when I suggested he get some exercise. You have to be more careful, Sal.
I was being careful. Come to think of it, I just got into a race with a member of the track team. Doesn't seem as well reasoned as I thought it would. No
Me,
shit!
Rhino floating behind your head. Smack.
Stop slapping, you're gonna aggravate my condition.
You have a heart condition, not a head condition. Smack, 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 smack.
You just what?
I was racing Emmy.
Emmy, is this true?
Emmy fidgets, looking adorably contrite.
Well, he didn't really stand a chance.
Doesn't count as a race. Finally, she can't seem to bring herself to say it aloud and merely nods. The nurse sighs and rubs at his forehead with one hand tiredly.
He didn't tell me he could die from it.
To be fair, yeah, I don't think she really knows.
Emmy, you've got to be more sensitive to the limits of others. I don't know if he told you, but Hisao has a bad heart, and getting him to race you is incredibly irresponsible.
Actually, I started it. The nurse is stunned by my statement.
You what?
We were just running, and Emmy started to pull away, so I sped up to catch her. The nurse stares at the ceiling, mutters a prayer for patience to some god or another, and he looks back down at the both of us.
So you're both stupid.
Hey! Emmy didn't know.
That's a comfort, I guess. Now come on, Hisao. I've got to make sure your heart's not going to explode or something.
Why is
Fine,
it
open the hatch and look at it.
the characters who have their eyes closed all the time end up being my favorite characters? Brock, Henry, unnamed nurse. Nurse is the fucking dad. I've made up my mind on this. I mean,
What the hell is that on the computer? That's some fucking creepypasta shit.
It does look like that, yeah.
It's like one of the zombies combined with like a baby chicken.
Man, you have a weird desktop background there, buddy. Also, to be fair, Sylvia, if you are the nurse at a school for disabled people, I think you're going to be the dad / mom / parent. I dutifully obey and follow him to the adjacent room, which was just like 5 feet to the left, where we ascertain that I am, in fact, not going to keel over and die. Yet.
Always good to start with that.
So how does it feel?
I don't know. Nothing much. Tired, but it might just be from the exercise.
You should stay here for a few hours and rest, and let's see how you feel after that.
I am not going to object, so I lie down on the infirmary bed. A thoroughly miserable Emmy comes in after getting an earful from the nurse in the other room.
Bad Emmy. Squirt. With a spray bottle.
Okay. I couldn't hear what he said through the closed door, but I'm sure it wasn't pleasantries.
She got smaller somehow.
I took off my legs.
Look, I'm really, really sorry.
I just, Okay, I know, like, obviously she's on the track team and it would defeat the point if she was just in a wheelchair. But as a general thing, is there a particular reason people end up with prosthetic legs instead of a wheelchair?
Money.
Is it really cheaper? I feel like buying one...
Not everywhere has wheelchair accessibility.
It also depends on your exact condition, I would imagine.
People
Okay.
also just look at you different if you're in a chair all the time.
Yes, having blades for legs won't make people look at you differently at all. Hey, what's up? This is my King Gambit cosplay.
I mean, you could always wear pants and shoes and stuff over those.
Feeling of normalcy. That's also a fair one. It seems to me like something where, like, when it comes to disability, I feel like it would become less about personal preference and more about just what makes things more efficient.
Like, there's actually a side character in Forrest Gump, Lieutenant Dan, who loses his legs during the war, and people look at him differently through the whole movie. And then it's a big character arc moment where at the very end he gets new legs and walks to Forrest's wedding.
Oh, okay. Alright. Again, I have never been in these situations, so I just don't understand. I fully acknowledge that, and that's why I ask questions.
I really want to push that big blue button on the wall.
Oh, I thought that was just a cap hanging on the wall. I think
Should have been more careful.
I think that's the thermostat, Rhino.
Push.
Ah, we're on fire now! Hey, you didn't know. It's not your fault. She looks awfully down and sorry, and my reassurance don't do anything much to cheer her up.
I want to make it up to you.
Again with that decisive nod.
So you have to come to lunch with me. I'll bring it for you, okay? Something really, really good.
I start with a you don't have to, but then shut up and just nod at her when I see her face.
Good.
Yep, that face.
We meet on the roof.
You're trying to kill me, aren't you?
No,
I
the
knew.
roof's where confessions happen.
I knew it. You ran into me in the hallway to activate my heart condition. On the track, you goaded me into continual chasing after you, and now you're going to push me off the roof. You're trying to kill me! You want my money! Well, too bad! I gave it to Kenji for pizza!
There's pizza?
Pizza on the roof.
Done.
We?
Yep, the weather's nice now, so the roof's a great spot for lunch, you know.
I see.
Will she actually still have this outfit on then? You'll come, right?
Later in the route, maybe.
You wouldn't deny me the chance to make it up to you.
Okay, hang on.
The joke's been there, I've just been not making it.
I don't know at what point we're locked in. I think we might be locked in on Emmy now, but that might
not this early.
It depends on how much of the act, like how long it takes before you get into the act where you're like actually on the route. course not.
Great, see there? Because you haven't really made a choice here, except for the run faster part.
Yeah, choosing to push yourself was definitely a big character choice.
I guess we've
Especially because I think this means you missed your class.
also we interacted with Ran at once, so
Yeah. Hey, you actually got more interaction from Emmy now that you almost died instead of just run, hey.
yeah. Instead, it was run, hey, blah. I stay afloat somewhere between asleep and awake, feeling completely drained. My permanent state of being. Not only my body, but all of me is limp and paralyzed, apart from my senses. I swallow with difficulty and then try to lie as still as I can, which in this state is not a very hard thing to do.
It seems like you did kind of fuck yourself up a bit.
The nurse is shuffling around on the other side of the curtains he drew to give me privacy. I can see his shadow shifting about in the sunlight. He has opened the window of his office. It's windy outside. It heckin' windy. The clean white curtains flutter in the breeze in a heavy, lazy motion, like waves. Light sifts through them slowly, half absorbing into the fabric. And I went to sleep. I close my eyes. The breeze on my face feels like the soft fabric of the curtains. I listen to the sound of my heartbeat for a moment, trying to shut out the sound of the nurse tapping away on his computer with that weird creepypasta image, and my own heavy breathing.
And this were Danganronpa 2. This is where we would wake up and have our face in cleavage.
It's steady. No, this is where we wake up on the beach with Nagito standing over us.
Hey, you're finally awake.
You were trying to cross the border, right? Ran into that Monokuma ambush. Damn it, not even a week and I end up like this again. I really screwed up this time. Should have known better than to play the half-baked sports star in front of a real one. Why did I try to act brave, like that heart flutter was no big deal, even when it was obvious that it was? It was just a reflex, to push it away, to keep it inside. Keeping your heart inside does seem like a fair reflex to have. I didn't want it to happen. I didn't want Emmy to see it. Stupid. I have to be more careful, or I will end up at the hospital again, or worse. That's my final thought before I die. I mean, give in to the tiredness. I fell asleep. For how long? What time is it? I'm feeling a little lightheaded, and I keep blinking compulsively. Pushing the curtain aside, I squint my eyes against the unfiltered light pouring in from the window. The texture of the canvas feels nothing like the wind did before. Apparently Emmy's route is one with an early lock-in point. Are we already locked in for Emmy?
We're still in Act 1 though.
I would imagine the lock-in point is during Act 2, yeah. Or
Out of 4?
at the end of Act 2. Well, yeah, because then the other half of the game is actually you spending time with the girl.
Fair.
The nurse looks up from his work, sitting exactly where he was before.
Nope. How are you feeling?
I don't think so, but I think hers locks in at the end of Act 1. Okay.
Damn, that is early.
I'm definitely enjoying getting to spend more time with her. I'm still unsure what I want to do between her and Hanako. Of course I said do. Between her and Hanako. This might honestly end up being a thing where I, do one route, and then at some point in the future, I'll do the other route and just skip over the stuff we've already seen. Because, I imagine the routes themselves are different. I can't really tell, so I don't answer anything. I'm feeling kind of groggy from falling asleep at such a weird time. Hopefully I don't look too weird. What time is it? Me croaking the question to gain some orientation. The nurse looking at his wristwatch before answering. Things seem to be happening in slow motion.
10:15.
I try to think for a moment what that means, but I'm not really sure. 10 p.m.? Or no, definitely not.
Nah, look at the lighting.
He wouldn't still be here if it was 10 p.m.
I mean, if someone was in the room sleeping, I feel like he would.
He'd just wake them up if it got past his work hours, I think.
Wake up, get the fuck out.
You didn't answer my question, Hisao.
Oh. Fine.
Climb down from that bed then, and let's see how you're doing. Don't.
I try to do exactly that, only to sway dizzily when I move too fast. The nurse moves to support me by an arm and sighs.
Stand up too quickly is what I was going to say. Just sit there. Right. Don't interrupt me. I'll check your pressure to make sure.
I accidentally clicked. My good intentions sure lasted for a long time. I shut up, embarrassed with myself, while the nurse gets busy with an old-fashioned contraption in my arm. After a couple minutes, he puts it away, looking neither pleased nor unhappy.
Does he mean a blood pressure pump? Because they still use those. You're alright.
They have changed slightly.
Head stop spinning?
Yeah.
Yeah, true. Instead of doing it with the little pump balloon thing, they now have a machine that does it.
Yeah.
I always hated going in for blood pressure, and they would they have the thing on your arm that just tightens and tightens and tightens.
Fun fact. Go ahead, finish.
I was gonna say, because I'm claustrophobic specifically in the manner of if I can't move my limbs, I freak out. And when it gets to that point, obviously you can't move it anyway because they're trying to take your pressure. But I feel like I can't move my arm at all, and it starts to freak me out because it's so tight.
I think I got used to that because I was one of those kids who liked going to Walmart and playing with the do-it-yourself blood pressure seat and cuff thing while Mom was waiting in line at the pharmacy.
You never seen that one episode of Beavis and Butthead where he gets stuck in the machine for the whole episode?
I've never seen Beavis and Butthead because I don't care to.
It was I was just fascinated with that I could push a button and this thing would swell up and tighten around whatever was in it. So I would do the arm, and then I'd do the hand, and then I'd do the finger.
Am I weird for saying I kind of like when it gets really intense right before they take it off?
It's a very satisfying conclusion.
We don't kink shame here.
Good. And how are the contents doing?
I will say, I think I get what you're referring to in this. Is it kind of in the sense of it like hitting your head against a brick wall because it feels so good when you stop, sort of thing?
Never done that, but it's sort of like.
Well, I mean, I haven't either. I mean, metaphorically.
I don't know. It's that weird feeling of when a feeling is really intense but not painful. It gets slight endorphin rush.
I guess I get what you mean. For me, it tends to be painful, but that's probably also because, again, I freak out at not being able to move my hand or my arm.
You didn't show very good judgment out there, Hisao.
I swallow the retort I was going to make. It's what I was thinking myself, but hearing it stated by somebody else makes me want to protest.
Fun fact, I looked it up. The nurse does not get a name.
Really? Didn't they say at the start his name is on the door?
He's just the nurse. He doesn't get a name.
He needs a name. Let's give him a name right now.
Nurse Tim.
Oh, because we know so much about Japanese names, don't we?
Well, I can list off some names from Konosuba and Doki Doki Literature Club and My Hero Academia. That's the Japanese I know.
Nurse.
Normie.
Nurse. But it's Nerss. What he's saying is not pleasant to hear. Doesn't make him any less right. No, sir. He nods, still looking as neutral as he was before. Is that neutral? He looks like the Happy Mask salesman. I wake up in the nurse's office. He looks over. You've met with a terrible fate, haven't you? It would be easy to be angry at him if he said, "Told you so," or something, but he doesn't.
I can try and help to keep up your health, but ultimately the last call lies with you. Hopefully this little episode will be something that'll remind you of that. Here, a note for your teacher, to avoid an interrogation.
I take the slip of paper he's offering and then make my leave, as I can't think of anything else to say, nor even really want to.
Stay out of trouble, you hear me? I don't think it was anything but a scare, but next time could be different.
I hear
A
you.
ghost in front of you. Boo! Your heart.
It just reminds me of the very early Simpsons episode where Homer's having like a heart attack, and so throughout the first part of the episode, he's like getting to stressful situations, and specifically he like has a conversation with Mr. Burns that's going like, "Well, Simpson, I must say you are very good at doing nothing," and it continues like that back and forth, and so it keeps going. There is some way to get to the school building straight from the auxiliary building, but I'm not keen to find out and possibly get lost, so I go out from the exit that I know works. I stop at the stairs of the auxiliary building, deliberating for a moment between going to the dorms to get my books and stuff and going straight away to class. The sun stings my eyes, so I head towards the dorms. Ah, zombie!
Zombie.
The halls are quiet as the courtyard was, naturally so since everyone is in class. I knock lightly at the door of 3-3 and push open the door when Muto calls from the other side.
And now to get stared at by everyone.
Sorry I'm late. 15 pairs of eyes turned to me. Right, I was this guy. What voice did I give him? I can't remember. He looks like the 10th Doctor, but I didn't give him a British accent. Good morning, Nakai. I think it was just that. Muto seems to be somewhat confounded by my coming in late, as if I interrupted his flow or something. Judging from the rambling
Threw
lectures...
off my groove.
You didn't pass the vibe check. Judging from the rambling lectures his classes tend to be, that might be the case. I pass him the note the nurse gave me. Muto takes it with a nod and reads it quickly. He lifts his eyebrows and gives me a kind of stern look, but doesn't say anything, just nods solemnly again. Reads the note. Ah, sorry Hisao is late. He was a fucking moron.
And almost died. Why, girl?
He had heart problems while interacting with a girl, and not in the way you're thinking. No, not in that way either. I shrug and he gestures at me to
Don't
run
know
away.
head?
No legs. I shrug and he gestures at me to run along, so I naturally do. I leave. The class goes on lazily. I think I'm starting to get into the rhythm of the school. I've even stopped worrying about taking notes and being overly attentive. The first days I was pretty high-strung in class. Muto finishes his lecture about electricity early, but continues without a pause about the festival. And that's how electrocution kills people. So as you know, the festival is on the day after tomorrow. I hope everyone's projects are going to be successful this year. Have a good time, but also come Sunday, please keep the I cannot read his lines. God, what's going on? Please keep the meaning of this festival in your minds. Games and fried food! Everyone bursts out in laughter, and so do I. Yes, thank you, Mikado. But what I meant was more the remainder of his sentence is buried beneath the ring of the lunch bells, and everyone starts packing their things. Muto deliberates for a moment, but since almost nobody seems to pay attention anymore, he gives up and sits down. Damn it! He was going to tell us some incredibly vital information that we're going to need in the last act! I know how these things work!
Apparently a lot of people accidentally get Emmy's route as their first just because they follow doctor's orders, as to not die.
Well, it seems like... I guess that makes sense. Are we already locked in? Well, no, you already said you don't think so. I mean, that makes sense, but...
We'll see.
I mean, you had to exercise. You had to choose to push yourself while exercising, which admittedly we did for logical reasons. And presumably there's another choice, so we'll see.
I'm curious what'll happen, because we're going about this the relatively logical way.
Yeah, it seems like we're probably going... I'm guessing we're probably going to get Emmy, and then I'll probably do the Hanako route, afterwards, I don't know yet if I'll do it on stream or not, but if I do it on stream, I will make sure to skip through everything that we've already seen. Because the game, this has a way to specifically do that. Ah! No, I can't see the zombie! Get out of the way! I need to see the zombie! It's crowded in the hallway, or as crowded as hallways in the school probably get. Most of the students seem to be heading down for the cafeteria. Normally, I'd join the flow and grab a lunch myself, but today is different. Today, I've been invited to lunch on the roof, where I will be pushed off and die. An odd location, but that's where I was told to go.
Alright, so taking bets. Will she still have the freaking gym uniform on?
She went to class now, so probably not. It seems like she has it. She had it because she was doing running. And she had it the one time we ran into her because I think she was on her way to, like, gym class. I think was the idea. So, probably not. Fortunately, I managed to find shelter from the storm in the lee of the classroom door. Ah, zombie! Eventually, the torrent subsides and I step tentatively out into the hallway. Only to be met by Emmy, who comes flouncing down the hallway like a cannonball. Oh, we're about to find out! Hey, proper outfit.
Hey! Hey, how you sound? Great timing.
I don't know why, but even though I've seen all the other people here, their uniforms have had, like, the green skirts, I kept thinking hers was going to be blue for some reason.
I have super extra lunch today, as promised. Let's go upstairs.
Look, there's the stairs. The stairway to the roof is a little dilapidated, but it's clearly been used recently. At the top of the stairs is a door, complete with missing padlock. I wonder who the intrepid individual was that removed the lock. Emmy shoves the door open and steps beaming into the sunlight. She has like the cat face!
Yeah.
Meow. Not talking about you!
But I have a cat face.
Go back to sleep. Suddenly, a tall, dark stranger appears out of nowhere, standing imposingly in front of us. Emmy flinches back, almost falling down the stairs. Can you guess who this is? Who's that disabled person?
It's, Swiper.
Rhino.
Oh, I thought we were trying to go at the same time. Okay.
Right.
Eek,
3, 2, 1, go.
Hello.
eek. Yikes, you scared me, Ran.
Wait, isn't she...
Hello.
Okay, I'm guessing that... I don't know, I imagine...
I think white and green is just a school uniform.
No, yeah, I know. But I for some reason thought Emmy would be, like, different for some reason. But anyway, I think that, I'm guessing that this is kind of a point where we basically choose between Emmy and Rin. And if we didn't go with Emmy, we would have had some other scene that gave us a chance to get stuff with Rin. That's what my guess is.
Piano Man going at it.
Noticing that Rin is speaking to me, Emmy looks curiously at me.
You two know each other?
I look confusedly at Emmy. She's that friend of yours? Rin has turned her gaze towards the clouds drifting above the school.
I didn't know you know this person, Emmy.
The awkward silence Piano Man, where did you go? Come back! Come back, Piano Man! We need you to keep the silence from being awkward and instead make it jazzy. The awkward silence lasts only for a few seconds until Emmy lets out a tiny giggle, shrugging the coincidence off.
I invited his out for lunch. If you know him, that's just better.
Oh, does this mean I don't get food? Or did you invite him for lunch without the lunch?
Neither. I have food for 3.
Nice thinking.
What if at the last second I just do a complete swerve and go for Rin instead? I walk to the other end of the roof while I stay at the clock tower for a while. When the fuck was there a clock tower? taking in the
For
atmosphere.
all time.
There is nobody else but us here. I guess the roof is not as popular as it is in other schools. A few rundown benches and tables are scattered around the edges, perhaps in an attempt to make the rooftop look less desolate. The small pebbles covering the roof rattle beneath our feet. I always hated the rocks on the roof, and I never understood why they were there.
I think they disperse heat better than a flat roof.
I peek through the chain link fence to take a look at the school grounds and beyond. Ah, okay, we can't get pushed off now.
I mean, just gotta lift first.
Emmy can't do that, though. You're supposed to lift with your legs. Students are...
Ren can't do it. Ren can't do it either.
Don't even need to elaborate on that one. I'm just imagining, like, Emmy getting on Rin's shoulders piggyback style and being like, your legs, my hands, together, we murder!
But considering how small these girls are, they look very throwable.
Whee! Students are strolling in pairs and groups around the quadrangle and at the cafeteria. The fuck's a quadrangle?
It's a fairly normal
Well,
thing.
it says quad, so I'm guessing it relates to 4.
Yeah, well, my thought is quad, so 4, and wrangle for rectangle, so a 4-sided rectangle. Oh, that's all of them! I'm looking it up.
It's essentially usually like a square yard.
Quadrangle is a 4-sided plane figure that closes in a space. So it's a rectangle! A few delivery trucks are driving past the school towards the convenience store nearby. Somewhere, a watchdog barks at a passerby. Somehow, when I look towards the town center, the small town feel strikes me very strongly, almost palpably. The hectic lifestyle of big metropolises seems so far away and foreign here. Nobody has to run to catch a bus like their life depended on it, or get their senses overloaded by the neon lights and traffic jams. I feel surprisingly optimistic about this new life of mine, looking at my new hometown, even if it's going to be mine for only one short year. Finding out about my illness and having to move away from home all came so suddenly, I haven't had time to think how I feel about it. When I step out of the shadow of the clock tower to the open, I feel warmth touching my back. The sun shines from a perfectly clear cerulean sky. A cool breeze sweeping over the rooftop makes me shiver, but only briefly. The wind carries the scent of trees and flowers, not smog and car exhaust like it used to just a few weeks ago. Emmy settles on a bench with Rin in tow and produces 1 big and 2 small lunchboxes from her bag.
Come on, Isao, what are you waiting for?
She is beckoning me to join them, making room on the already small bench. God, you can really see how few fucks Rin gives.
That is a person who is hungry.
Rin just always has the look of like, this is how many fucks I give. It's the number of fingers I'm holding up. I seat myself on the corner of the bench to take as little space as possible. It's pretty cramped, but somehow all 3 of us fit on it. Is it really that small of a bench? These people are like 2 inches wide.
Rin is manspreading.
Impressive view. Emmy suppresses a giggle and places a lunchbox in front of Rin and hands another lunchbox to me.
Here you go, lunch as promised.
Who got the big one? Homemade, no less. Homemade, no less. I'm impressed. Wow, this looks really good. What is it?
It's a bento, I assume. Thanks, I'm making myself when I can.
Conversation
Cat
dies.
face.
Conversation dies off as I set about the business of feeding myself. Taking a few bites, I glance up and notice Rin deftly opening the lunchbox and popping a forkful of food into her mouth, using only her feet. I used to think I had really dexterous feet because I was able to pick up towels that were on the floor.
You gotta be able to use chopsticks.
God, I can barely use chopsticks with my hands. Holy shit. And she's a painter, too? I'm starting to wonder if maybe they specifically gave these people, like, hobbies or jobs or whatever that specifically go against their disability to make it stand out more. Because, like, Emmy's a track runner and she has no legs. Rin is a painter that has no arms. Shizune is, like, a class president that can't hear.
Lily is an
what
art
could we
critic.
what could we do for Hanako? Swimming.
Hanako's a firefighter.
Lily's a bird watcher.
I mean, we know she likes to read.
Hanako, yeah, okay, I thought for a moment. Oh no, you meant right? No, yeah, because Lily got the Braille books, right?
Lily has the special Braille book she got ordered.
Right. Yeah, I will say if they did do that, that is interesting because I really do wonder what they do for Hanako, but even though I've seen it before, I can't help but be impressed at her dexterity.
Hanako's a spot welder.
It's also a reminder of the sort of place I'm in right now. Will I ever get used to sights such as this? I can't decide if getting used to such a thing would be a good thing or a bad thing either. Does getting used to this place mean that I'm giving up on being a normal person? Or does it just mean that I'm becoming more understanding about those around me? I'm distracted by my thoughts from the sight of Emmy tearing into her lunch as if it had insulted her ancestors. You dishonor my family! You seem pretty hungry. Sorry, the difference between these. Emmy looks up, mouth half full, and swallows before nodding.
My morning run always works up an appetite. Which is great, because then I burn through lunch pretty quickly. Helps me keep my girlish figure.
What would happen if you'd lose it? Would you become a man like me?
I very nearly choke on my lunch trying not to laugh.
It's a figure of speech.
Does your figure have to run in the mornings too?
I love the sassy smile she has.
That is a smile of someone who knows exactly what they're doing.
You always talk like this?
Talk like what?
Like what?
I think that answers my question. Never mind. Oh, so she has the full boy's uniform. I just know she has, like, the necktie instead of the ribbon.
Oh yeah, she's wearing the full thing.
I feel like they could have just given her pants, but whatever. Because they probably had to get that, like, specifically sized for her, and whatever. Oh, I struggle to think of small talk and settle on the obvious question. What's it like having no limbs?
Maybe the girl's shirt is more complicated to put on, whereas the guy's is just whoop.
I mean, I feel like the girl shirt would be better because of the chest space.
I was about to say the tie emphasizes the fact that she has bigger boobs.
Fair. How'd you two meet? Rin seems content to let Emmy answer this question.
Someone in the housing department thought that we complement each other well, so we were assigned rooms next to each other.
That?
Put together,
Wow.
we're a whole person.
Reminds me of like at the very end of the Telltale Walking Dead games, like at the end of the actual like final season. If you've like made certain choices, then one of the other characters is like missing an eye, and you're missing a finger from like earlier, and so you talk to them and they're like, put together we make half a pirate. Compliment each other.
Like shoes in a suit.
Huh? And he giggles at my confusion.
Put us together, we got all our limbs. Get it?
Ah. So they were having a laugh.
So I started helping Ring get ready in the mornings, and that was that. I mean, you can't help someone get dressed every morning and not get along.
I see. Rin chooses this moment to interject.
I have trouble with shirts.
You don't fucking say. Right, that seems fairly obvious.
Also, tying the tie was tricky.
That's another thing that I don't. I feel like at that point, like making them wear the ties is kind of rude.
Also, I can't take my own bra on and off.
Fucking contortionist.
Really?
And obviously, we can't see it like we can with Emmy's legs. Where does her arms end? Because if they end particularly close to the shoulder, how would she even wear like a bra? Because like, those like go over the shoulders, right?
Well, it's definitely above where the knot and the sleeves are.
Well, yeah.
Strapless ones do exist, though.
How did? Never mind. I don't need to know these things.
I choose to always believe they're like tube tops.
Kind of. This isn't helping, but at least Emmy seems to find the whole thing funny. That, combined with the fact that Rin is genuinely curious, makes me feel slightly better and yet confused. I mean, you've got no arms. So,
What? Really?
Looks at
I
himself.
never noticed.
Looks at himself. Whoa. Putting on a shirt seems like one of those things that would be difficult. You know what? I'm going to just stop talking now. It'll save me a lot of trouble in the long run. Rin nods in what I suspect is meant to be a sage manner.
I see.
No, you don't. Your eyes are closed. Oh, now you do. The conversation dies as I turn my attention back to my lunch. Is it bad that Rin is starting to get higher up in my list solely because I want to see what other stuff she says? Basically just like Kenji.
Yeah, but you can do that just as friends.
Not in a dating sim. You know how dating sims work, Rhino. As soon as you choose someone to interact with, the other characters disappear.
Thought Tim said that wasn't what happens in this one.
I really don't know. We're at the point where I basically stopped playing originally, so I don't know what's gonna happen.
It's really quite good. Emmy finishes her lunch first and makes a contented noise, which I assume is a burp.
From what I've seen in a lot of walkthroughs, there's not really a lot of choices to be made in Act 2, so I wonder if that means your big choices are in Act 1 and then Act 2 just plays out based on the girl you got.
That was good.
If the game does like change a lot depending on who you're going for, I think this might be a game we can easily come back to and do repeat playthroughs of, just skipping the stuff we've seen and going for the other girls.
I don't know how many playthroughs I'd be up for.
I mean, it would be like new stuff, and we wouldn't do it like consecutively. Like there'd be breaks. As she busies herself with cleaning up her lunch, Rin speaks up.
I'm thirsty.
I guess maneuvering a water bottle or glass with feet would be hard.
Oh, I almost forgot about that. Sorry.
With a flourish, she reaches into her bag and removes a trio of juice boxes. She tosses me one that appears to be cranberry juice, one to Rin that appears to be some kind of strawberry milk, complete with pink color scheme, and keeps an equally pink box of some kind of fruit punch for herself.
Rin fails to catch the one thrown at her. It explodes.
Rin dexterously stabs her straw through the top of her box and begins to drink. Okay, now you're just showing off!
Tastes like my feet.
Oh god, yeah, that would have to be awful.
Yeah, every time you go for a bite of food, you have to make sure your feet aren't absolutely horrendously dirty.
And considering she still has to walk around normally. I know she's wearing shoes. I know she has shoes and stuff on, but sweat still happens. I'm once again impressed by how flexible she is, but this time I keep my comment to myself. Somehow I don't think either Emmy or Rin are the sorts of people to think twice about the way they work around their particular disabilities. Rin especially
can't clip her own toenails.
Unless.
I mean...
Unless she's one of those people who just bites her toenails.
I'm looking at a nail clipper here, and while I certainly couldn't do it, I could imagine her managing to use this with one foot on the other foot.
One long toenail to open cans.
Or just very carefully holds the clippers in her mouth.
Indeed, she gives off the impression of being entirely unaware that she's missing any limbs at all. Whether or not that's a conscious decision is another matter. I'm honestly not sure.
So, Sal, how do you like it up here?
Huh? It's quite nice, actually. I like high places for the view. Thanks for
It
inviting
gets
me
my
up.
heart race. Oh, wait.
And for the lunch, too. Emmy grins a 1,000-watt grin, pleased by my response, I suppose.
No problem. Feel free to eat with us next time, too, okay?
Ah, who do I continue to eat with? Emmy and Rin? Lily and Hanako? Or... Nope, those are the only options. There's no other options.
I won't make you a lunch, but you can bring your own up here.
No lunch service? I don't know. Emmy looks mock offended.
Try and take advantage of my good nature. The nerve.
She giggles. Okay, no, I think I'm going for her.
Well, if that's your answer, I guess Rin and I will just keep eating lunch all alone.
I am suddenly assaulted by the most heart-rending puppy dog eyes I've ever seen as Emmy pouts.
Remy, leave that alone.
Kidding! I was kidding. I'd love to eat lunch up here again. Good location, and the company's okay too. Emmy frowns a bit at my declaration of okay, but seems happy enough that I've accepted her invitation. Guess it makes us friends now. Or at least acquaintances. The lunch bell rings, signaling a return downstairs.
Who's that dark, mysterious figure on the right? Rin, you didn't finish your lunch again.
I wasn't that hungry.
Bullshit. If you don't eat more, you're going to fade away.
Rin shrugs as if this is an acceptable risk. Come on, we better get going. I will say, I think if we do replay this, we would only do it to do one other route.
Okay.
Like, I'm thinking that I might do Hanako's route on my own, because I want to see what that is, but I feel like Rin's route would be really interesting to see. So I think that might be the route that we, like, do in a second stream, and then I'll just do Hanako's on my own, and then maybe Lily's on my own, and Shizune can suck a dick. It's not mine.
No! We're going to potty!
So loud about it.
Getting frustrated at the dogs.
Come on, we better get going. The three of us head down the stairs together. The afternoon class passes. Once again, I find myself without a plan for something to do after school, so I head to the library to return a couple of the books I finished reading. Walking inside, I see that there are about as many students here as there were on Tuesday, all the more evident from the almost total silence enveloping the room. Jesus. As I drop the books I borrowed into the return slot on the counter, Yuko suddenly pops over behind it, quite startled from the banging they make as they hit the trolley next to her. Ah, sorry, Yuko. Didn't mean to startle you. This was also you, Rhino.
It was?
Yeah, because...
I thought you voiced the librarian.
No, I voiced Muto, Rhino voiced this girl, and you voiced the nurse, so we each voiced one of the faculty members. We haven't met any others yet. I think I specifically
that's fine. It happens a lot. I'm used to it by now.
I think I also gave it to Yuko, or gave it to Rhino, because the first time we met her, she was talking to Lily, which is voiced by Tim, and because her name is a very clear green.
Can I help you?
It's okay. I think I know where everything is. Thanks anyway. I suppose I'll grab another book or two while I'm here. There's not much else to do, and after reading so much during my stay in the hospital, it's become a hard habit to break. I wander down to the fiction section towards the back of the library, scanning the bookshelves for anything that catches my eye. As I do, I look over to the corner where Hanako had been the last time I was here, not really expecting anything to come of it. Surprisingly though, she's there, absorbed completely in a fairly thick book. I decide against intruding on her like last time and get back to finding reading material. After an indiscernible amount of time spent perusing the aisles, I finally decide on a couple of books to get and slide them off the shelf. With a minimum of fuss, I quickly walk over to the counter, check out my books, and pop them into my bag as I walk out. By the time I leave the main building, sunset isn't too far away. A small trickle of students remain, but the majority have left, presumably to their homes and dorms. Feeling utterly drained, I head to my room to read the books I borrowed. There's been enough action and excitement for one day already. The first is Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. I know the story, of course, but I've never actually read the original book. It's just as trippy as I remember the story to be, with the wacky characters and nonsense plot. I start thinking of myself as some kind of an Alice too, haplessly tumbling down the rabbit hole into this Wonderland. Okay, that's a rather strong expression. Still, the isolated location and the overt way the school accommodates to absolutely everything is unsettling. It's like another world. I wonder why I can't shake the feeling of being an outsider like Alice, despite most everyone being so hospitable and friendly with me. Turning another page, my mind starts drifting further away from the book. It's quiet. I can hear my heartbeat thumping against the fabric of my shirt. For some reason, it makes me feel really bad like it has since that time in the forest with Iwanako. Like I was locked in a cage with something nasty and scary. I put the book down for a while and stare at the ceiling, taking my time to shake off the feeling. 200 pages later, I fall asleep. Jesus Christ, man!
He's my mother.
200 pages in just a couple hours? Damn.
Meanwhile, my mom, I'm already at 85% of the way through the book. I might as well finish it. Me, is that why you stayed up till 2 in the morning?
The students were. Aw, we didn't get to see Kenji. The students roll into class for the Saturday morning session, each and every one of them sporting the tired eyes of people who have worked through the night. With only a day left to prepare, I suppose it's not so surprising. Thankfully, we only have to suffer through classes until the lunch break, and then our time is our own. Muto lurches into class at a tired stagger. I suppose students aren't the only people here that enjoy their late Friday nights. Without saying a word, he scrawls some page and question numbers on the board and slumps down at his desk. He's probably drunk. It's completely atypical behavior for him, but it appears that no one in the class is going to call him out on it. Wordlessly, the students shuffle their textbooks into position and get to work. Not wanting to break the trend, I do the same. Fatigue has made the class antisocial. Not a peep is heard among the ruffling papers. That could partly be attributed to the 2 empty seats beside me. For some reason, Misha and Shizune aren't present, probably doing council work for the festival. It's very quiet without Misha present. I wonder if she was born as rowdy as she is, or if she is making up for Shizune's lack of voice. Nakai, can I speak to you for a moment? I'm so engrossed in thinking about Misha that I don't even notice Muto approaching my desk. Sure, what's this about? It's probably better if we speak outside the classroom. Something about this doesn't sound too good, but I stand up and follow him out into the hallway. Are you doing drugs? No. Do you want to?
Maybe. Can I have what Kenji's on?
Kenji
No,
is...
that's advanced drugs.
Kenji is high on the sweet, sweet high of life. And ecstasy. Muto stands in the hallway, scratching his head as he works out what he's trying to say. Not knowing what's going on, I wait silently. I heard from the school's head nurse that you had an incident the other day.
We
so it's
gave
about
you
that.
a fucking note.
Well, kind of, but it's not anything to be worried about. Yes, it is. Anything that can endanger your health is something to be worried about. We try our best here to prepare you for life here. Part of that involves knowing your limits and how to work around them. It would be remiss of me if I didn't speak up about this. Alright, I get it. I'm sorry. Muto closes his eyes in frustration, and I realize that this probably wasn't the best thing to say. Something tells me that you're not sorry. Pretend as much as you want, but this isn't a normal school. A lot of people have put in a lot of time, effort, and money to make sure that you, and every other student here, can have the same level of education as your peers. For you to abuse that by throwing out advice, especially medical advice, is plain selfish. I'm not quite sure if this is actually how he feels, or if it's some act that he's practiced many times to guilt-trip students into doing the right thing. Either way, it's working. I understand. This is all new to me, and I apologize. I know my limits now, and I'll be sticking to them. Muto appears to lighten up a little, satisfied that his message has been received. So then, on to my next question. How are you finding your studies? I understand you were laid up for a while. We're not too far ahead, are we? I don't really think so. I tried to keep up when I was in the hospital, so it hasn't been too hard. Muto taps his chin and raises an eyebrow as he absorbs this information. Is that so? I suppose there are still students out there who realize the importance of learning. I wouldn't go that far. I was only trying to keep myself occupied in my little life support prison. Well, yeah, you've got to keep up with these things, right? That's exactly it. One wrong move in this world and you're left behind, right? Right. Wouldn't want that to happen. No, you wouldn't. Every week there's a new scientific discovery. I thought my cat was clawing at the door. Most of them mean nothing to the layperson, but any one of them could be the key to the next big thing. I'll keep that in mind. It's obvious that Muto's serious talk is over, and he's gone back to his standard, slightly scatterbrained approach to life. I think in hindsight that I prefer him this way. He's slightly more predictable in his unpredictability. Well then, I think that's all I really had to say. Let's get back inside, shall we? My relief at that suggestion is insurmountable. Sure, you're the boss, right? Muto pauses for a moment. My god, I am! I can do whatever I want. I don't think any of my students have ever said that to me before. For an instant, I consider replying to this, but something deep within me tells me to shut my mouth and get back into the classroom. A few of the students jump at the sound of the door, rapidly trying to pretend that they're working on the questions on the board. Some don't even bother, their heads slumped on the desk as they nap. Thankfully, it would appear that Muto does not even notice them. He returns to his desk and retrieves a scientific journal from one of the drawers. I guess I got to him there. The class returns to the near silence that Muto and I left it in before our chat. Mixed feelings of tiredness and anticipation buzz around the room. Everyone here is either waiting for a chance to rest, or the chance to get their last-minute preparations underway. The clock in the wall slowly ticks the remaining class time away, until finally the bells cry out, ending the torment. Before you all leave, I expect the answers for those problems by Monday. The class sighs as one, instantly regretting slacking off, but still acutely aware of the more pressing issues at hand. The classroom empties in a blink as everyone rushes to their last-minute festival preparations. I stay behind and try to quickly finish the questions so I don't have to bother with it over the rest of the weekend, with the festival and all tomorrow. Apart from me, Hanako is the only one left, obviously waiting for Lily. It's weird that Lily comes all the way to our classroom to pick her up. I expect that moving around is at least nominally harder for her than it is for Hanako. But it's none of my business, and I naturally don't ask about it from Hanako. Despite the relative proximity of our seats, neither tries to strike up a conversation about that or anything else either, so an oppressive silence falls upon the classroom. Time passes in silence. It's probably just 15 minutes or so, but it feels longer. I turn pages of my notebook. Hanako turns pages of the novel she's reading. My pencil lead splinters against the paper just when I was about to finish a paragraph. Sounds of my irritated sigh and subsequent fumbling around for a sharpener feel like they're breaking the mood in the classroom. Hanako keeps her eyes firmly away from my direction. Before long, Lily's tall figure appears in the doorway.
What up, fuckers?
Hanako?
Why am I dropping frames? What's going on? OBS, stop it.
Too hot.
I've got an AC unit running and a fan pointed directly at you. It is cold in here.
I met the ladies.
Oh. Well, fair enough. I can't do anything about that. Her name is all it takes to make Hanako jump up from her desk and run to Lily. They talk quietly for a moment, but it isn't long before Lily leaves down the hall and Hanako idles back into the classroom, taking her seat once again. I watch Hanako out of the corner of my eye out of sheer curiosity at the idea that the two would be separated. For a couple of minutes, she does nothing but sit with her chin in her hand, staring at the desk dejectedly. The boredom evidently becomes too much for her, though, her slender frame reaching into her bag and pulling out a small book. Come to think of it, that isn't the one I saw her reading at the library. She must be quite a fast reader to get through them at this rate. Says the guy who did like 200 pages!
That's...
in like the hours between sunset and nighttime. After about 10 minutes of restlessly shuffling in her seat and trying to read, Hanako closes her book and leaves too. As should I, since the assignment is all but finished and there's nothing else to do in the classroom. Not that I have anything to do anywhere else, either. I can't see the zombie! The school is a beehive of activity, but nobody pays me any heed. I saunter past classrooms filled with students, frantically doing this and that, buzzing around like little worker bees. You wouldn't guess the school day is over. It's a bit quieter outside, but not by much. People zip by, left and right, hurrying as quickly as they can, busy and energetic. I feel the opposite. The midday sun seems to be draining all the spirit out of my body, making it feel limp all over. Warm, soft air flows inside my shirt, feeling like a cushion. I yawn lazily, thinking about what I'd do. I'll drop off my books at the dorms first, and then... something I haven't decided yet. Maybe Kenji's in his room. On the way to dorms, I spot Emmy coming my way, running despite not having those weird running prosthetics on. I wave at her and she skids to a stop.
Oh, so she does have multiple ones.
Makes sense.
Yo, he's out.
Yo, yo! Spatters of white and green paint adorn her nose and chin respectively, but her smile is wide as it seems it always is. She leans closer to me, amplifying the feeling she is examining.
What you doing?
Thanks, Isabella. Nothing really. I don't have anything to do for the festival, and everyone else seems to be doing something important.
That's perfect, then you can help me and Rin.
With the festival preparations? I'm not sure I'd be of much help.
That's fine, I'm not much help either.
Emmy grabs my wrist and starts dragging me back inside the school quite forcefully. Even her walking speed is more like jogging, making me stumble over myself simply trying to keep up. The stairs slow Emmy down a little bit. Maybe it's hard to climb with her legs, or maybe she's finally run out of breath. We go all the way back to the 3rd floor into the seniors' hallway, ending up where I left 5 minutes ago. I could just as well have stayed here waiting for Emmy had I known. So is Rin working on that mural still?
That's right, she needs all kinds of paints and brushes and stuff, so I went to get them from the art classroom.
And you need me to help with that.
Well, Rin told me you had already helped her, so I thought you wouldn't mind.
I see. So, thanks to Emmy's flaky logic, here I am again, collecting stuff from the art classroom for other people. The room is empty apart from ourselves and the lonely specks of dust floating in the air. Emmy skips straight away to the back wall, digging out a tiny crumpled piece of paper from her pocket. While she tries to make sense of the scrawled handwriting, I take a closer look at the materials lying around here. Dozens of paint cans and bottles are arranged on the shelves in a most unorganized fashion. Some look like they've been left there for several decades, relics of previous art club generations. Next to the heavy...
I am the ghost of art club past.
Next to the heavy stacks of neatly piled drawing paper are boxes full of different-sized brushes and unsorted crayons. The smells of paint, turpentine, and fresh paper float in the stale air, mixing in my nostrils to form that unmistakable scent of art. Emmy studies her notes, comparing them to markings on the various paint cans, and passes them to me as she finds the correct matches.
That reminds me of one of the D&D things I'm listening to right now, where they ended up in a cart warehouse of confiscated carts of various things. The DM literally had a D100 chart of what everything is. One of them found an art supply cart, and they went like, well, that is just instantly flammable. It was like, it has chemicals and paper. What more do you want?
She stretches her neck to look on the topmost shelf, but it's not quite enough. Her eye level stays below the shelf no matter what she does. Emmy gives up and just looks up to the shelf longingly, like a child at a toy store, huffing in annoyance.
Scoop, 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 scoop.
After a moment of building anger, she starts jumping up and down, apparently trying to speed read the labels during the fraction of a second she can see them, and catch what she can. I have done this! I have done this exact thing! It's no
If it means I have to actually jump, I don't do it, but I will stand on my tiptoes.
It's no surprise that she fails miserably, and almost manages to bring the entire shelf crashing down.
Max, I have done this.
Now I see why me lending a hand here could be useful. Come on, let me do that. You can't jump high enough, and I don't want you to hurt yourself trying. Also, I'm like twice your height.
You are not.
She turns around, flaring scorn, flushed cheeks and all. Just kidding, just kidding. Anyway, I'll look up there, okay? She glares at me one more time, but can't come up with a retort. With a grudging, turns her back to me. So I begin scrounging around the top shelf for paint, while below, Emmy crouches to scavenge what she can from the cupboards. I shake my head a little after double-checking to ensure she can't see me do so. Emmy having a complex about her height was a surprise. I wouldn't have joked about it otherwise. She seems easygoing, but I guess everyone has their weak spots. Only after we have almost all the items collected and spread out on desk like a treasure hunter's spoils, do I realize that it wasn't necessarily the height jab that got her riled up. She might not like to be told she can't do something, like jump. But Emmy herself seems to have forgotten all about it already. Quick to anger, quick to forgive. Is she that type of person? At least she doesn't seem to have taken anything to heart, and she chatters away happily while we pick up the rest of the items and then make our way back to Rin. I chivalrously carry the bulk of the materials as we make our way towards the dormitories.
Rin is really stressed about getting her painting done. It's her own fault, though. She should have started earlier.
Is she going to make it?
No idea. Looks good to me, but with Rin, you never know what's going on. I found her this morning lying in front of the dorm in a fetal position. She hadn't slept all night. Can't believe that the night nurses hadn't found her. And now she's painting again like crazy.
I think she's on drugs! I'm not even joking anymore, I think Rin's on drugs! Yeah, I've noticed that she comes off as kinda unhinged, so to speak. Halden? Halden the Unhinged? Emmy giggles at that, as well as my likely too obvious awkwardness. Yeah.
I don't mind it. She's just a little weird sometimes.
On that, I can agree with her. Unlike me, Emmy seems to be cool with Rin's whatever it is that feels so off about her. Still, they don't feel close like Misha and Shizune do. With them working as a single entity sometimes, it's hard to say where one ends and the other begins. Even though they're so different, just like Emmy and Rin are. And Rin is the most different of them all. Different from anyone else I've met. Yeah, I guess she's a very unique person. I return to that word again, as if it encompasses Rin's personality by itself. But really, it's just a substitute for a lengthy description of her oddities. Emmy giggles as I grasp about for a properly descriptive word.
She's just weird.
Whoops.
You know, earlier she spent half an hour sitting on her box and stared at her toes.
She is absolutely on drugs. She giggles again in a way that makes me think she doesn't know what's funny about it, it just is.
All that time.
The working area is a mess, but the mural itself has taken over even more of the wall since I last saw it. The disfigured human figures have been mostly colored in tones of red, pink, and orange. Weird, imaginary things populating the spaces between. It looks nice. I can't think of any word that would describe the work concisely and comprehensively, so I settle myself on a nondescript nice. Nice. But honestly, it seems that the area around the wall becomes untidier at the same rate as the mural progresses. The ground is littered with dozens of paint cans, various art supplies, and empty soda bottles. Rin herself is in the center of this chaos, standing there looking very cozy as if she was a natural part of the scene. Her pant legs have been rolled up to her knees, exposing her thin thighs, which sport a drying spectrum of war paintings, similar to those on Emmy's face. Emmy sprints to Rin ahead of me and gleefully jumps in front of her. Rhino.
I'm back.
That was fast. Did you run in the corridors again?
Sal helped me.
Emmy points victoriously at me. Rin turns around, following Emmy's finger with her eyes, looking at my general direction. She nods absent-mindedly at me. She looks like she hasn't slept since last night. A vacant, glazed stare that's focused slightly off me, and movements like in a slow-motion movie.
Hello, Sal. Thank you for the help.
I'll mention it.
I just did.
Never mind. Looks like you've made progress. Looking good as far as I can tell.
But now you get more bad luck.
I know, but I'm willing to take the risk.
That's a very nice thing to say. For me, of course. Not for you. This is why artists are always unlucky. They have to constantly look at their unfinished paintings. So artists can't find romance, their favorite TV shows are cancelled, or they die young because of an unspecified disease. It's a deep and mysterious law of the universe. Unless they are blind.
She considers this for a while, looking like she's going to fall asleep.
There's a boy. At the art club, you see. Blind boy. So he doesn't see. He should become an artist. No bad luck, guaranteed. Don't you think that would be a good idea?
That only blind people should become artists? No, not as such.
You might have a point.
Abandoning this train of thought, she turns again to consider her work and starts humming a tune that I think I recognize, can't remember the name of. Emmy arranges the supplies we brought and moves a few paint cans around, trying to bring some organization to the scene.
Emmy, I need the Prussian blue paint.
Rhino.
Sorry. Which one's Prussian blue?
She's staring helplessly at 7 or 8 cans, each with a different tone of blue.
It's the one with the Prussian blue paint in it.
Jeez, Rin, you're not helping at all.
I look around as well, even though I don't know what Prussia blue looks like either. I wonder what blue has to do with Prussia. Or what Prussia even is. The name sounds vaguely familiar, but I can't place it. While none of the blues look more Prussian than the others, the small print on the labels is legible enough to determine that none say anything about the contents being Prussian.
They don't exist anymore, so don't worry about it.
There is no Prussian blue here. Rhino!
We need to go get more then.
How are you falling asleep again?
That time I just let my mind wander a little.
I definitely thought I heard a snore starting up. I opened my mouth to say that actually we're not both needed for such a simple task of finding another pot of Prussian blue, but Emmy's already grabbed my arm and started dragging me off. I waved to Ren, who doesn't seem to have noticed that the two of us are even leaving.
She can't wave back.
Well, she'll notice when she goes for her Prussian blue and finds out it's still not there. Maybe. Probably not, actually. While I'm busy thinking of how weird Rin is, Emmy's been dragging me back to the art classroom. I feel myself starting to run out of breath. What's the rush? Rhino!
God damn, I thought I was safe from it. Huh?
You are falling asleep again. Emmy's giving me an appraising look, as if she's trying to figure something out. It's just that you seem to be in a hurry. I'm not sure I can keep up. Comprehension dawns on her face.
You're not out of breath, are you?
There's almost an accusing playfulness to her tone. I'm tempted to deny it, but then I realize that I've been breathing heavy since we stopped. Guess it's kind of obvious. A little. Not everybody can be in shape, you know. Takes all kinds, right? Emmy frowns. It's not a particularly good frown. Are there good frowns? That is, I should get in shape? Not that I hadn't already decided to try for that. After that flutter on the track, I figured there's a real need to get in some sort of running habit. I was, after all, feeling pretty good until I had my false alarm. Well, actually I wasn't, but it was fun. Meanwhile, my comment seems to have helped Emmy come to some sort of decision. Rhino.
Well, that's it then.
She gives me a serious look.
You're joining me.
I beg your pardon?
In the mornings. You and I are now running partners. I've got a routine all planned out. In fact,
She produces a crumpled sheet of paper.
I've got it right here with me.
I take the sheet of paper and give it a once-over. Times, dates, and laps all laid out. A slow increase from just a few laps a day to... My god, does she expect to have me running marathons? Where did she find the time to get this all together? And how long has she been planning this anyway? You've been planning this?
A little. It's really the nurse's idea. He told me to keep an eye on you to make sure you exercise like he told you to.
A vast conspiracy? Maybe Kenji's onto something here. This seems a bit much for just keeping an eye on me.
Well, to be honest, I've been trying to find a running partner in the mornings for a while now.
My god, Kenji, if you could only see the scheme unfolding! What do you need a partner for anyway?
It's easier to keep up a workout if you're not the only one doing it. Isn't that obvious? You're less likely to quit if someone else is counting on you to be there, right?
I see. And this won't only keep you running, but it'll make sure that I keep running as well. Meaning that I'll be obeying the nurse.
And I'll be keeping an eye on you just like he asked. You caught on quick, Sal.
And if I refuse? I have no intention of refusing, of course. I think we're locked in, Emmy! But I've got to at least put up a token resistance to such a masterfully executed plan.
Well, if you refused, I'd have to pout. And you'd have to live with being the guy who made Emi Ibarazaki pout. You don't want that on your conscience, do you?
As if to demonstrate, Emmy begins pouting. It is the most adorable, heart-wrenching thing I've ever seen. Okay, I'll do it. Just don't do that. I see we went for it on the track. Yeah.
That's the thing. We've only made like one decision.
Yeah, I will say,
The rest has been writing it out.
Yeah, I chose to go for it on the track because my thought process was, well, like at the time it was like, I'm at the point where I stopped last time. Do I stop or keep going? And I was like, keep going because every day you do a little more. And that ended up leading to, I'm gonna race the track team star. But yeah, I mean, Emmy and Hanako were the two I was leaning towards anyways, so I'm perfectly fine going on Emmy's route. Emmy ways. Just don't do that. I feel like I just hit a puppy.
So it's settled, right? You're going to be my running partner. Follow the workout? And the dietary plan?
Dietary plan? Emmy will just fucking steamroll you in and out of character.
Yeah, the dietary plan. Gotta eat healthy if you're gonna get in shape, you know.
I examined the workout routine closely. I don't see a dietary plan on here.
Oh, right, I forgot to give that to you.
Another crumpled sheet of paper is produced and handed over. It's somewhat less detailed.
I had the nurse help me come up with it.
No chocolate. The amount of dedication that the nurse has to keeping me in good health is pretty overwhelming. I don't know many school nurses who would get one of their students to spy on me, much less help come up with a dietary plan. Then again, I guess I'm not in a normal school. And maybe that's not such a bad thing. Then again, this dietary plan seems to cut out just about everything that'll be offered at the festival tomorrow. So when does our running start? Rhino.
There we go. This was not a Rhino thing, this was a waiting for Discord to catch up. After the festival.
Right after? What if I had something to eat there? I could get a stomachache, you know?
I meant the day after the festival.
I knew that. Wasn't there something we were supposed to be doing? Oh, guess we get that paint for Rin, huh?
Oh no, it's in my mind.
We're gonna come back and she's asleep. Oh, by the time we get the pain and get back to the mural, Rin's already wandered off. Oh well. Okay. Rin gives me the feel. The way I can think of to describe it is Rin gives me the feeling of like an NPC. Like, you look away and then they just do whatever. And then when you're talking to her, it's just like whatever random shit comes out. And I love it. Amy and I both decide to part ways there, leaving the paint on the ground. Rin will find it. Whenever she comes back, anyway. Festival's tomorrow. I'm actually a little excited for it. At the same time, the week's left me feeling pretty tired, so I read a little and then go to bed. And the dogs bark. Alright, we're about 20 minutes off from when we would normally end, but I think let's end here because we just ended the day, and I'm hungry. Rin didn't wander off.
I feel like the festival's gonna be a big day anyway.
Yeah. Rin didn't wander off, she just got culled by our render distance. You mean our render distance? Alright.
The festival's probably the end of Act 1, if I had to guess.
Yeah. So, I think, so what I'm thinking is, I mean, just because, I'm just curious at this point, because Dew on the Grass, you know a lot about this game, it seems like. Are we already locked into Emmy? Which, like, I'm fine with if we are, I just want to know if we are.
It's, like, weirdly super easy if we aren't. Or if we are.
I mean, literally all it would take is, like, one other choice, and we wouldn't have interacted with her at all if we just said maybe instead of yes to exercising. Which, like, I know is the logical thing to do. Because, like, I'm just wondering if we're locked in on Emmy, how didn't I pick up on render distance? Because I'm thinking, you are indeed. Okay, so we are locked in on the Emmy route, which I am fine with. It's good to know. So yeah, I'm thinking we're gonna do the Emmy route, obviously, and then after a short break, we'll probably come back to this game to do the Rin route because I'm really curious about it, and I feel like it would be very interesting to show. We're not gonna bother doing the Hanako or Lily routes on stream because apparently those are the most popular choices, so everyone's done them. And we're not gonna do the Shizune route on stream because Shizune is fucking horrible and I hate her with a burning passion. But I'll probably do those routes just off stream, just on my own. The choice on the track literally supersedes all other gameplay. So I'm curious now. If we did not choose to push ourselves on the track, would we have still been able to get Emmy? Or is that the point where you choose? So I'll admit, doing that choice is also kind of how I ended up interacting more with Rin. So I'm wondering how we would possibly end up with her. That's the yes or no moment. Okay. Yeah, there was an earlier...
Because it made it feel like so natural in the moment.
Which, honestly, to be fair, I'm fine with that. I'll admit, I normally like when dating sims kind of give you a very obvious, this is when you're deciding who to go with thing. But I can definitely appreciate when they just make it happen naturally as well, and then it's just a case of, like, just based by being who you are, this is who you ended up with, sort of thing. So, one thing I like that when dating sims do is, like, you go through it, and based on how you act, it determines who you have the option to get with, and then you get to make the choice, sort of thing. But, alright. So, we are on the Emmy route, then. And then the Rin route will happen at some point in the future, but we're not even done Act 1 yet, so... And so, Hisao fucking took care of it.
Which makes me wonder what all is left in this freaking game.
I really wonder, too. I'll admit, I've seen a lot of dating sims that are basically, like, they have a bunch of game for, like, the first 2/3 or 3/4, and then the actual time spent with the girl is only like the last little bit, because they have to do it for every single route. But considering we're locked into the route now, and we're not even a quarter of the way through the acts, either the other acts are really short, or there's just a lot to this. I am really interested to see how it goes. Alright. We're gonna end off there, slightly early. Tomorrow, there is nothing going on. Katawa had an individual writer for each girl's 2 to 4 acts. Oh, okay. Okay. So it's, okay, I just said okay like 3 times in a row. Well, that means that there's gonna be, more variety and such. Alright, I'm looking forward to that. Okay, so tomorrow, there's nothing going on. Same with Saturday. Friday is, I'm blanking. Secrets of Grindia. We're doing the arcade mode there. We'll see if we do it. We'll see if we do it more afterwards. And it's not on the schedule for this week because it's technically next week, but just gonna note that Sunday we are getting back to Poke D&D unless something happens with Jero, but it shouldn't because his weekends are free. Yeah, the paths are genuinely different and equally engaging, except Shizune Meishi Rod. Thank you! God, I hate Shizune. She was fine. I was like, she's competitive. Like, I wasn't interested in her. But it was like, she's alright. She's kind of competitive. And then the bit with her and Lily, where it becomes extremely clear she just wants to argue with people. She doesn't even want to win arguments necessarily. She just wants to argue. She just wants to cause shit. And I don't like her. And I wish I could date Misha without having to date the Shizune. Alright, anyway, that's going to end that off. Farewell, everyone, and see you next time for whatever happens next.